Hello and welcome to yet another video. This is the 5th episode of the story in which Hiruzen takes charge and finds a way to fulfill Minato's dying wish. Much has changed in the Narutoverse since the clan heads and Danzo have joined forces to train Naruto. Naruto accepts his parents' and clan's final wish to bring peace to the elemental nations. Join our smarter and more OP blonde knucklehead on his unique path to peace. This story is from Bjtakuch. Please support him. Please like and subscribe to show your support. Let's get the show started. The following day, Naruto was walking around the village with Anko and Team 7. He wanted to spend time with his team before the exam and get a general plan of action. Of course, Anko saw them and crashed the party. This led Naruto to treating all parties at Ichiraku's, which now had an expanded menu. When Naruto told Teuchi about Anko's proclivities for Dango, he immediately added it to his menu. He also got his liquor license and added a collection of sake, whiskey, and beer to his menu. Then, Naruto mentioned to him how much Samui liked sushi, so he hired a sushi chef. The once bar stool restaurant was now full-blown and was constantly packed with customers. After eating the meal and discussing the exams, while warding off Anko's public displays of affection, Naruto was walking through the village with his group and ran into Sakura. Sakura squealed and glommed onto Sasuke immediately, much to Sasuke's disgust. The Uchiha had been spending all his time training and enjoying the absence of fangirls. Then the Konohamaru Corps showed up and spiced things up a bit. Naruto-nikan. It has been forever since I have seen you. You still owe us, so I am here to cash in. It is time to play ninja. His excitement was palpable, and it looked like the two behind him, Moegi and Udon, also wanted to play. Sakura took a break from suffocating Sasuke and responded before Naruto could. Why would a ninja play ninja? That's just stupid. Run along, kiddos, and let the adults talk. This earned an immediate and ill-thought-out response from Konohamaru. Hey, Pinky, nobody asked for your opinion. This is between me and Naruto-nikan. So why don't you, your giant forehead and your flat chest, take a hike? A demonic aura appeared behind Sakura and the air temperature lowered a few degrees. Before Sakura could lunge forward, Naruto and Hinata restrained her. He turned his head and addressed the group of kids. Run, now. A chase commenced for the next 5 minutes. Naruto hopped up onto the rooftops with the others and enjoyed the raucous display. That was until Konohamaru turned a corner and ran into somebody. A second later, Naruto heard him squeal for help. Naruto dashed to a nearby roof and took in the scene. Konohamaru was being held up by a boy wearing makeup in cat pajamas that had a wrapped bundle on his back. Next to him was a beautiful kunoichi with sandy blonde hair and her hair done up in 4 buns. She carried a big metal bundle with her. Naruto also sensed an ominous presence in a tree across the road, but he would worry about that later. Naruto used a burst of speed to appear behind Kankuro and he had Storm's Edge pressed against the boy's back with one hand. His other hand pressed a kunai to Tamari's throat. Anko had also appeared behind the sand kunoichi and was placing her ample assets against her back while holding a kunai to the other side of her throat. Both sand ninjas were startled by the sudden presence of the two powerful shinobi. Sakura, Sasuke, Hinata, Udon and Moegi had just rounded the corner to witness the scene. I would suggest you let the kid go. Konohamaru, if you are okay, apologize to these people and go join my team. Yes, boss, I'm fine. I really am sorry about bumping into you, mister, or is it Mrs.? The innocent confusion broke the tension and all Konoha shinobi started laughing. Tamari was snickering, despite the kunais to her neck. Kankuro was furious but he knew he was outmatched. He released the kid and screamed at him. I am a man. This is battle paint, Kami, damn it. Another round of laughter greeted the outburst. Naruto withdrew his weapons and said in a playful voice. Can't blame the kid. It's not every day you see a boy wearing his sister's makeup and wearing a costume. The public shaming of Kankuro was now too much. The ominous presence in the tree appeared in a swirl of sand in front of the group. Kankuro, you are an embarrassment to the sand. What is your name? Mother is wary of your blood. Naruto knew he was talking about him. Q informed him about his brother Shikaku contaminating this boy. Naruto. You can find out the rest in the exams. Tell the little tanuki we say hello. All Sand Shinobi's eyes widened at this. Gaara directed the group to leave, and they left the scene without another word. After recollecting themselves, Naruto's group also split up and returned to their homes. Kurama had a discussion about his brother with Naruto that brought up some major concerns with Naruto. The next day, Naruto showed up in front of the academy at 12:30. He saw Hinata and Sasuke waiting for him. You ready to do this, bro? He asked in a cocky manner with a smirk on his face. Offering his forearm. Sure thing, Ruto. Let's go kick some ass. Sasuke replied with a matching smirk. Clasping Naruto's forearm firmly. Both boys turned and looked at Hinata. I am ready too. I won't let you down. Her typical reply made both boys laugh. Naruto threw an arm over her shoulder. You got this, Hinata-chan. You have to believe in yourself more. You are way stronger than most of these other kunoichi. You have kept up with Sasuke and I. You have trained your ass off. So, believe in yourself, we got your back. HN came from Sasuke. Naruto and Hinata translated it into what he said. The three entered the building and walked straight past the crown of genin and cheap genjutsu. They maintained a low profile as they walked up the staircase to the third floor. They got a bit of encouragement from Kakashi before they entered the classroom. Upon entering the classroom, everyone looked to Team 7. There were 150,200 genin hopefuls that stopped talking and stared at them. There was a bit of killing intent aimed at them. Naruto and Sasuke met eyes before flaring their chakra. After breaking the effects of the paltry Ki, they let off a sustained blast of their own. A genin from Taki fell out of his seat and multiple genin started panting. Most genin looked away and tried to avoid antagonizing the team further. Naruto saw Katsuchi, Samui and Haku. They gave him approving nods from his display of power. He locked eyes with each of them and hit them with his trademark smile. He was about to go and talk to Samui when the rest of the Rookie 9 showed up. Sakura squealed and yelled out to her Sasuke-kun. The room broke out in fits of laughter when he spun out of the way of her hug. Sakura tripped and was caught by a green blur. The genin dressed in a green body suit and orange leg warmers gave her a blinding smile and an exaggerated thumbs up. Before he could speak, Sakura hid from his thick eyebrows and black bowl cut behind Sasuke. A girl that reminded Naruto of a panda attempted to pull the green-clad genin over to her other teammate before he could begin moping. Naruto saw Lee and a devious smirk appeared on his face. Ah, Lee-kun, my rival. Care to answer my challenge for these exams? An exuberant Lee broke out of Tenten's grasp and sprang over to Naruto, then gave him a thumbs up, complete with a wink and smile. Of course, Naruto-kun, you are one of my eternal rivals. What is your challenge, my friend? Whoever gets further in the exams wins. The loser must do whatever the winner says for a whole month, within reason, of course. Replied Naruto through a chuckle. Yash. Very well, Naruto-kun. I accept. May our flames of youth burn bright. Yelled Lee in a jubilant voice. During all that, Ino had jumped on Naruto's back and given him a big hug. She whispered in his ear, I know about the CRA. It doesn't change how I feel about you. We will talk later. She planted a kiss on his cheek, which wasn't missed by the girls from IWA, Kumo and Kiri. You are in quite the pickle, Kit. Kurama pointed out the obvious from the back of his mind. I know, Kurama. I am at a loss for what to do. They are all absolutely amazing. I know you can feel my guilt. It has been eating at me for a while now. What should I do? Naruto thought in reply. Be yourself, Kit. Don't overthink it. Just be yourself and that should prove it to them. The whole point of them coming to the exams was so they could get to know you. Show them the Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze that I have come to respect. It all starts with these exams, so get out there and do you, Kit. Thanks, Q. I don't know what I would do without you. Naruto was broken from his thoughts by a silver-haired genin from Konoha that was talking to the group of rookies. I want to help my fellow Konoha ninja, so I will give you a freebie. Name any genin in this exam and I will give you information on them. This is my 7th attempt at the chunin exams, so I have quite a bit of information that could help you all. The bespectacled ninja said in a sly voice. The group looked around at each other, but it was Ino that spoke first. Kabuto-san, I want to know about those two. She pointed at Katsuchi and Samui, who had been giving her the stink eye since Ino kissed Naruto on the cheek. Sasuke cut in, I want to know about the little redhead with the sand gourd over there. Gaara's scowl and spike of killing intent made the group of rookies take a step back. Kit, that is my brother, Shikaku. He isn't exactly stable. He was the first one captured and he hates humanity even more than I do. You can feel him fighting that boy's will, and by the feel of it the kid is barely hanging on. Gotcha Q, I feel the same thing. Bloodlust and an instability that points toward insanity. Is Shikaku that strong? Nah, Kit. You would have a good fight on your own. With my chakra we could destroy him. I believe the seal is poorly done. I can't feel much separation between the two personalities. The confidence in Kurama's tone reassured Naruto. Gotcha, Kurama. We will look into the seal when we get a chance. I have many options from the Uzumaki scrolls. I appreciate you looking out for my little brother, Kit. But if he breaks out, we are going to give him a beatdown. That little shit never stops popping off at the mouth. With an inward nod of his head, Naruto caught the information that was given on Samui, Katsuchi and Gaara. They were each first-time applicants, so how did this Kabuto character have information on them? Something didn't feel right with Kabuto, so Naruto channeled some of Kurama's chakra to his nose. The man smelled of snakes, which immediately put Naruto on guard. That is quite interesting, Kabuto-san. However, that information seemed pretty generic. How about you tell the class about me? I will verify if what you have is accurate. The calm and confident tone Naruto used carried across the classroom. Kabuto looked to Naruto and smirked at the boy's challenge. Very well, Naruto-san. I found the information on you the most interesting anyway. Kabuto pulled out another card and channeled some chakra to it. Naruto flashed to Kabuto and took his own card. In a loud voice he called out. Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. Officially a genin of Konoha Corps, but it is suspected. Naruto's friendly tone died as he read down the card. How did Kabuto link him to Kitsune? That was a very select group of people. How did he know about Naruto's solo missions? This card was way too detailed for any ninja, even more so for a genin ninja. Spy was the single word Kurama used to sum up his thoughts from the lakeside in Naruto's mindscape. Naruto plastered a fake smile on his face and made eye contact with Kabuto. Kabuto couldn't react in time as Naruto grabbed him by the throat and slammed him into the wall. A shadow clone was conjured that grabbed a tag out of Naruto's pouch. The clone applied the seal to Kabuto's forehead. Naruto was about to begin questioning Kabuto, but he was interrupted. Shortly after, a bang accompanied by multiple puffs of smoke filled the classroom. Ibiki Marino was at the head of 10 chunin exam proctors that were decked out in Konoha's chunin attire. Ibiki took in the classroom and noticed a crater in the wall. He observed Naruto holding Kabuto by the neck and watched as the shadow clone walked over to him. "Good afternoon, Ibiki-san. I have apprehended a likely spy. In the event that I am wrong, I will take Tandy out for drinks on me." Naruto then filled Ibiki in on the events preceding his arrival. Ibiki's eyes went wide as he listened to Naruto, especially when Naruto suspected Kabuto to be linked to Orochimaru. He thanked Naruto with a nod and ordered a chunin to get an ANBU squad. The ANBU squad showed up a couple minutes later. Naruto had removed his hand from the paralyzed Kabuto's throat. Kabuto's teammates were also apprehended and taken to the jail in the torture and interrogation department's basement. Ibiki cleared his throat loudly to get the room's attention. "Okay brats, listen up. That little side show was not planned, but you will deal with far worse in your ninja careers. So, find your assigned seat, sit down and shut up." The genin scurried to find their assigned seats. Every team was separated by more than a couple seats. Once everyone was settled, the proctors placed a paper test face down on each desk. Nobody noticed a tiny puff of smoke and the appearance of an 11th chunin proctor. "Listen up brats. Here are the rules of the exam. This is a team test, anybody fails, the whole team fails. You have 9 questions now and will get a final question at the end of the hour. You each start with 10 points and will lose a point for each answer you get wrong. If we catch you cheating, you will lose 2 points. Each team will need a team score of 9 to make it to the next part of the exam. There are no questions allowed." Throughout Ibiki's whole explanation, he was flaring killing intent at the class. Most genin could be seen sweating or shaking a bit. "Now, are there any questions?" An older genin of Konoha raised his hand and started to ask a question. Ibiki cut him off. "Applicant 154 and his team fail. Please leave my room." The boy continued his rambling protest the whole way out of the room. Once they left the room, Ibiki began the exam. This part proceeds much like the canon, so I, the god and author of this Narutoverse, will not write it out except for a few key details. Naruto answered a couple of the questions on his own but knew the point of this exam was information gathering. His clone that was acting as a chunin proctor walked down the rows of students peering at the tests. The clone then excused himself and left the room. Nobody noticed that particular proctor was Naruto's clone. When the clone dispelled, Naruto filled out the rest of the answers. He finished in 15 minutes, so he had a nice chat with Kurama. "Thanks for the help earlier, Kurama." Naruto had appeared by the lake in his mind. "I would like you to stay with me for the next part of the exams as well. Kabuto being here has me on guard. If he is indeed linked to Orochimaru, why is he at these exams?" "No problem, Kit. I wanted to watch. You crush these exams anyway. The spy worries me too. I have scanned each person here and can't feel anything unexpected, aside from my brother's presence. Isn't a Jinchuriki taking the chunin exams without prior authorization against the rules? Do you think Gigi knows?" Naruto's tone was pensive. Whenever Naruto was in a mood like this, wind blew across the mindscape like a storm front. The sun in the mindscape was hidden behind clouds and thunder started rumbling. "Relax, Kit. We will deal with anything these exams throw at us. If the snake is involved, we will deal with it. He can't touch us. Just keep your guard up and the rest will work itself out." Kurama's soothing tone was a far departure from the tone he first used with Naruto. As one of Kurama's tails wrapped around Naruto, the stormy mindscape faded away and returned to normal. "Now, get out of here, Kit. I was in the middle of sunbathing, and it sounds like you are needed," Kurama said in a firm tone. With a squeeze of the tail in appreciation, Naruto took in current events. There were multiple teams on the way out of the room. Naruto picked up on Hinata's nervous behavior and saw her starting to raise her hand. He immediately flared his chakra and stood up. Bring it on, Ibiki. Anything you throw at me, I will deal with it. So, what if I don't know what your stupid question is? Nothing will stop me from achieving my dreams. Not a question, not a jonin, not even a biju could stop me from becoming Hokage and bringing peace to the ninja world. So, bring it on. Naruto's proclamation echoed across the room and removed most of the anxiety in the room. The four girls that were falling for Naruto started to smile at him and Hinata's hand clenched into a fist. Ibiki saw the shift and sighed. Anko would never let him hear the end of it for letting this many genin pass. Very well, you all pass. The outburst from the room made Ibiki smirk. If Naruto hadn't spoken up, he could have knocked out another 510 teams for sure. At that moment, a blast went off and a window in the room shattered. A blur flew through the window. The blur transformed into a big banner that was pinned to the ceiling with kunai and a beautiful purple-haired woman. The banner read, "The sexy and not-so-single Anko Mitarashi." Sorry boys. The chibi fox playing with a snake in the bottom right corner of the banner made more than a couple people raise their eyebrows. Four heads turned to look at a sheepish Naruto, who was rubbing the back of his head while laughing sheepishly. All four faces gave him looks that screamed, "You will explain this later." Alright, kiddies. I am Anko and I will be your proctor for the next part of the exams. Damn, Ibiki has gone soft. 78 genin left. You have 1 hour to pack your bags for a week-long camping trip to Training Ground 44. You will be there within the hour or lose your right to continue in the exams. Go. Anko laughed in glee at the clusterfuck that followed her statement. Genin were trying to push their way out of the classroom. Naruto walked over to Anko and Ibiki. Ibiki, have the Hokage redirect multiple ANBU squads. I have a feeling that the snake is going to rear its ugly head. Now knowing that we are going into the forest of death, I believe Orochimaru will make his move there. Naruto put his hand on Anko's shoulder when her face darkened upon hearing that man's name. What makes you think that, Naruto-san? Replied Ibiki in a serious tone. Well, that Kabuto guy had the smell of snakes all over him. I believe that means he hangs around Anko or Orochimaru, the only two snake summoners. I have never seen him with Anko, so I believe it to be the latter. Okay, I will go see the Hokage right away. Keep your eyes open in there, kid. With a swirl of leaves, Ibiki was gone to visit the Hokage. Naruto lifted Anko's chin, Hibiheim, chin up. If he is here, we will get him. Anko met Naruto's beautiful baby blues, thanks, Ruto. I can't stop the rage that fills me when I think about that man. Anko's tone and emotions concerned Naruto, so he pushed on. Anko, promise me you won't go after him alone. I won't tell you not to try, but do not do it alone. I am always here for you. Anko took the three-pronged kunai that Naruto was holding out. Fine, Ruto. If I find him, I will call you. Now, let's go to the playground. She gave Naruto a passionate kiss before they both jumped out the previously broken window. 72 genin were gathered in front of the flimsy fence that contained the monstrosities of the ominous forest. They had split up into groups, with the Rookie 9 talking to the Kyumo team. It was Ino that cut through the polite introductions. How do you know Ruto-kun? Her tone was not the normal warm and playful Ino. It was cold and calculating. Her eyes locked with Samui. The rest of the rookies looked awkwardly at Ino. Samui replied coolly, with a hint of challenge in her voice. Ruto and I are good friends now. We may soon be betrothed though. What's it to you? Ino was taken aback. Betrothed? What had Naruto been up to? She knew about the CRA, but for him to be engaged to a kunoichi from another village caught her off guard. What do you mean, betrothed? Why would Naruto marry someone from another village, especially Kumo? Samui gave her a shrug of annoyance in response. It's a secret. Ask him if you need to know. If we are just going to talk about my personal life, I would rather not. It was cool to meet you all, see you around. She directed her team away from the group of Konoha ninja and sighed. She knew things with Naruto wouldn't be normal or easy, but this was a lot to take in. By her count, there were 4 others that she noticed. She guessed that Naruto was just too nice to tell any pretty girl no. She would talk to him about it later. Naruto showed up with Anko just as time was up. He walked over to his team and gave a fist bump to Sasuke. He stayed with his team as Anko gave her spiel. Alright, kiddies. This here is my playground, the Forest of Death. You will go in as teams and make your way to the tower. If you can't read a map, that's too bad, figure it out. Each team will be given a scroll, heaven or earth. Your job is to find both scrolls and bring them to the central tower. Open the scroll while in the forest, immediate disqualification. Make it to the tower without your team, disqualification. You die in the forest, disqualification. Other than that, there are no rules. Now sign these forms and bring them to the tent to get your scroll and gate assignment. The genin signed their forms and lined up in front of the tent. Naruto kept looking at a particular genin girl from Kusa. She was masking her presence, chakra and scent. Skills that a genin, aside from himself, shouldn't know. What concerned him was why would a genin be going to these lengths to conceal their presence? The one thing that Naruto could feel was a dark bloodlust radiating from her, and she kept looking at Sasuke. This put Naruto on guard. When he got into the tent, he created a clone that used henge to transform himself into a fly, and it rested on the roof of the tent. His team exchanged their waiver for a heaven scroll and got assigned gate 14. When the final team was assigned their gate, the Naruto clone dispelled and sent the information to Naruto, who was waiting at gate 14. Okay, guys, my clone just dispelled. The sand team at gate 12 has an earth scroll. I say we head toward them and pick up their trail. We will grab their scroll and get to the tower. I got a very bad feeling from the Kusa girl, and I don't feel like dealing with that trouble. Hinata, we are going to be relying on your eyes in the heavy cover of the forest. Sasuke, I want you to hold the scroll. Everyone is gunning for me, so they won't expect you to have it. My clones will form a diamond formation around us for security. Any questions? The command presence of Naruto really left no room for any disputes. Sasuke took the scroll and asked. Naruto, why don't we hang out in the forest for a few days and knock out as many teams as we can? Naruto rubbed the back of his neck sheepishly. Hokage GGI doesn't want me to stick out too much. It isn't exactly fair that I am in these exams and Kumo and IWA know about me. If I affect the results too much, it could lead to political issues. Anything else? Naruto-kun. Why are those girls from Kumo and IWA so interested in you? Hinata asked shyly. Her hopes of being with Naruto were being dashed. Naruto was such a good guy that there was no way Hinata would be the one he chose. Naruto gave a big smile and rubbed the back of his neck sheepishly. Sorry, Hinata-chan. It is a secret for now. You should find out after the exam finals. Sasuke and Hinata were annoyed by Naruto's response, but they were used to the blonde enigma. Suddenly, Anko's voice came over the speakers and the gates flew open. Naruto dropped his resistance seals to level 3 and created 20 clones to be the mobile security detail. The group took off southwest toward gate 12 for 5 minutes before Hinata spotted the sand team. It looked like the sand team was grouped in a hollowed-out tree and planning. Naruto gave some hand seals that said, set up, ambush, outside, tree. His 2 teammates nodded and positioned themselves in a branch above where the sand team was grouped. 10 minutes later the Sand Genin walked out of the hole in the tree. They were immediately placed into a demonic illusion, hell viewing technique genjutsu that Sasuke cast. Before they could break it, Naruto and Hinata hit them with paralysis seals. Naruto dragged them back into the hole in the tree, then stripped them of all their weapons and supplies. Hinata found the earth scroll on the nondescript sand kunoichi. Sasuke was outside overlooking the hole, pulling security. After a couple minutes, they were all done, and Naruto spoke to the motionless group. "Sorry about this, guys, it's nothing personal. I am leaving each of you one kunai and your rations. The seals will wear off in a couple of hours. I will put a genjutsu over this place so nobody else messes with you. Best of luck." He finished in a voice that was excited and a little jubilant. The Sand team was allowed to speak after Naruto finished. They cursed the Konoha scum as they left. Team 7 departed immediately for the tower, and that is when Naruto felt a terrible presence. "Hinata, eyes up at 11 o'clock. Tell me what you see." The urgency in Naruto's voice worried Hinata. "It is that Kusa girl, 300 meters out and coming fast. You two, put cloaking seals up now and hide, please trust me. I need you to mask your presence and not make a move. I will draw her attention. This is the one person I didn't want to deal with. Don't worry bro, I will be fine." Once again, Naruto's commands left no room for discussion. Sasuke didn't like it, but her trusted Naruto. "If you are in danger, we will be there, Ruto," was Sasuke's reply as him and Hinata activated their seals and shimmered out of sight. Naruto saw them take refuge high up in the canopy overlooking him. He created 2 clone captains, had them henge into Sasuke and Hinata, then applied the stabilization seals. He took a deep calming breath, released all gravity seals and acted like he was talking to Sasuke and Hinata. Orochimaru was having a bad day. The Genin team he had planted in the exams, which included his most loyal subordinate, failed to report in. He found out they were taken to Tandy before the exams even started. It was all that brat's fault. He was jumping through the trees and sensed Naruto and his 2 clones. He summoned a giant snake to distract Naruto so that he could get what he came for. Naruto felt the chakra spike and sensed the giant snake summon launch itself at him. Naruto jumped to avoid the snake and sent a Kurama-empowered futon wind cutter through the snake's neck. It partially severed the snake summon's head before it disappeared back to its realm. That settled it. This is Orochimaru. Orochimaru in disguise sounded off, "Ku, to think a mere genin can one-shot my snake summon. I think I will." Suddenly, hundreds of Naruto clones popped in existence and began running around the battlefield. Some jumped at Orochimaru, others launched kunai and shuriken, Naruto himself threw 3 flash tags and some left off wind and fire jutsu. It was all a big distraction. The real Naruto hid behind a tree, left a Hiruzen seal on the tree, created some reinforced clone captains to protect Sasuke and Hinata, and then Naruto flashed to his tag outside the Hokage office. Naruto kicked open the office doors and saw a startled Hiruzen and an on-guard Danzo. The ANBU guard was standing in front of the Hokage. "Forgive me, Hokage-sama. A snake is the forest. My distraction won't last long. Need you now." Hinata and Sasuke still out there. The Hokage jumped up from behind his desk. "Lion, Hawk, Cat with me and Danzo. Bear, go alert the ANBU commander and root operative codename Sai. Set up a cordon around the forest. Do not let him escape." Hiruzen formed some hand signs and appeared in his battle armor. Danzo simply nodded at his commands. "Sai will be in room 212 of the Hokage Tower. Tell him it is an order from me." The Hokage, Danzo, Lion, Hawk and Cat each grabbed onto Naruto. The room was filled with a brilliant yellow flash, then emptiness. The 6 shinobi appeared among an ongoing melee. It seems Orochimaru had yet to deal with all of the Naruto clones. There were 10 or so clones left still putting up a fight while guarding the fake Hinata and Sasuke. The Hokage, Danzo, Lion and Cat surrounded Orochimaru. Well, if it isn't my prodigal student. What brings you out to these woods, Orochimaru? Hiruzen addressed his student in a taunting voice. Ku. If it isn't sensei. Did you miss me? How did you get here so fast, old man? I didn't think those legs of yours were good for running anymore. Orochimaru's voice masked his hesitation. He didn't know for sure if he could beat his sensei, let alone his sensei and 3 other high-level shinobi. He tore off the face he was wearing and grew back to his hideous original form. Give up and come quietly, Orochimaru. We have much to discuss. Orochimaru ignored Hiruzen's response and looked at Danzo. My Danzo. Don't you look like a new man? Are you taking orders from the old geezer now? Danzo grunted at this but prepared himself. He saw Lion and Cat going through hand signs. Moments later, condensed shots of fire and water collided with Orochimaru's position. A collapsing heap of mud was left in its place. The group saw Orochimaru jumping through the canopy and gave chase. Naruto grabbed Hawk, better known to the reader as Shursui, and took him to where Hinata and Sasuke were hidden after the group chased off Hiruzen. He could hear explosions and fighting getting further and further away. He hoped his Gramps, instructor and fellow ANBU could handle Orochimaru. Naruto called out the "all clear" to Hinata and Sasuke. Sasuke opened up in a spastic tone, "Ruto, what the hell was that? That man fought off over 100 of your clones. I mean, look at the forest." Sasuke pointed to a destroyed section of forest that spanned about 100 square meters. Broken trees lay on top of other broken trees, their canopies creating a world of chaos on the ground level. Fires could be seen burning brightly with smoke billowing up into the thick jungle canopy. Hawk took this opportunity to throw some water jutsu at the fires and put them out. Then he spoke. "Naruto-san, I am not allowed to help you in this exam, however, I will observe you until you get to the Hokage Tower. Good luck." Hawk used Shunshin and took up an observational position over Team 7. Sasuke, that was Orochimaru. Don't know why he was here. Right now, I don't care either. We are moving to the central tower at full speed. We should be safe from the snake there. Hinata, eyes up please. We still have about 8 clicks to go before we get to the tower. Hinata nodded and activated her Byakugan. The group took off at a quick pace and traveled about 4 kilometers before anything interesting happened. The group heard a feminine scream ring out and it sounded close. Naruto inclined his head to Hinata. Get a situation report. There is a Kusa girl being attacked by a bear. It seems like her 2 teammates are dead. The bear is closing in on her. Hinata pointed in the direction and Team 7 sprinted off. Team 7 watched as a bear was charging a red-headed girl with glasses, who was trying to limp away. Naruto used Shunshin to get in front of the bear and hit it with a futon great breakthrough. The bear went flying, quite literally, into the distance where a loud crack sounded. Naruto turned around to the scared redhead, still holding the bird seal. He smiled at her and held up his hands in a disarming gesture. "Hi, I am Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. I am not going to hurt you. It looks like Titan got you a little bit. Would you like me to heal you?" The girl stuttered out, "Are you really an Uzumaki? I thought they were all dead." Naruto nodded as his hand glowed green. "Yup. My mom was Kushina Uzumaki, last princess of Whirlpool." The girl's jaw dropped. She couldn't believe she found a living family member. Not to mention, her first cousin. I am Karin Yu. Uzumaki. Daughter of Krishna Uzumaki, your mom's younger sister. Now it was Naruto's turn to be stunned. He could tell she wasn't lying. Now that he felt for it, he could feel the unique density of the Uzumaki chakra. Wow, to think I would meet my cousin here of all places. So, what were you doing in Kusa? Is your mom still there? Karin shook her head sadly. She told the group how her mom had died 3 months ago from infection and chakra exhaustion. Karin and her mother possess a unique Uzumaki healing factor that is carried in their blood. Their blood, even in small quantities, can heal significant wounds. The barbarians in Kusa used Karin and her mother as mobile healing stations. Karin lifted the sleeve of her shinobi jacket and showed Team 7 the bite marks that covered her forearm. Sasuke and Hinata were pissed, but they had to put comforting hands onto Naruto's shoulder. He was visibly shaking in a fit of rage and blood was leaking out from his clenched fists. Karin, do you wish to return to Kusa? Naruto's voice was distorted because he was fighting the influence of Kurama's chakra and it came through gritted teeth. The girl shook her head violently in the negative. Okay then. I am going to have you live with me. I cannot leave a fellow Uzumaki out to dry. I am going to take you to my house while I think of the best way to handle this. Please take my hand and try not to throw up. Karin was confused by the last part but decided to trust her cousin. She took Naruto's hand and then felt her world spin. When she reopened her eyes, she was woozy, but able to hold her nausea down. She looked around to see Naruto's bedroom. There was a queen-sized bed covered in orange sheets. A painting of a fox hung over the desk in his room, which was littered with scrolls. All right, Karin-chan. You will be safe here. I will leave a clone with you to explain things to Tsunade and Tsubaki. I have to get back to my team now. Ja-na. With a wave and a yellow flash Naruto was gone. Leaving a stunned Karin and a Naruto clone to help get her cleaned up and show her around the house. Naruto arrived back in the forest where he had left his kunai a couple minutes after he had left. Hinata and Sasuke had taken up positions around the kunai and were talking about Naruto and the way crazy stuff always happens when he is around. They didn't even bother to look sheepish when Naruto chimed into the conversation saying it wasn't his fault. Sasuke answered that statement with an HNNNN and Hinata rolled her eyes. The Hyuga equivalent of an exaggerated "yeah, right." The group made it to the tower without further incidents. Upon entering the tower, Team 7 saw a massive riddle written on the far wall that basically instructed them to open both scrolls simultaneously. They threw both scrolls on the ground at 8:16 p.m. All in all, it was a long 5 hours in the Forest of Death, but at least they didn't have to spend the night out there. As the scrolls rolled open, a big puff of smoke followed. Out of the smoke came Kakashi and his orange book. Well done, guys. You finished that faster than expected. Anything interesting happen? Kakashi asked in a bored tone, yet the loan I took in the 3 genin's appearance. Well, sensei, the test was easy enough, but we did run into Orochimaru. Naruto let that hang in the air. He wasn't disappointed by Kakashi's reaction. The lone eye opened wide as it looked to the other 2 genin for confirmation. Sasuke gave a frustrated nod. He was still brooding over the fact that he hid the whole time and let Naruto handle it. Hinata nodded as she looked down to Kakashi's feet. She was glad they made it out unharmed, she had no delusions of her chances against a Sannin. Well then, I am glad you're all okay. Did he say why he was after you? He asked with a tone of incredulity. Nope. I flashed to the Hokage tower and brought them to battle the snake. Speaking of, is Hokage-sama here? I want to know if they were able to kill or capture Orochimaru. Dunno, I will have to go check. You should all go claim a room. Konoha teams have the 3rd and 4th floors. Cafeteria is on the 2nd floor. I will talk to you all tomorrow. Jana. With a wave and a swirl of leaves, Kakashi was gone. Team 7 grabbed a bite and headed to their room for the night. Sasuke sat and brooded for a bit before strolling over to Naruto and reading the book over his shoulder. He couldn't make heads nor tails of the advanced Fuinjutsu book Naruto was reading. "Naruto, is Fuinjutsu something I could learn?" he asked in a hopeful tone. "Sure thing, Sasuke. It, however, is an art that takes a long time to master and a longer time to learn how to use it in battle. Take the intro book for now, and if you are interested in learning more, I will teach you after the chunin exams," replied Naruto in an aloof tone as he pulled out a big scroll and extracted a fairly thick book from it. "Quick tip, the basics are the most important. You can never forget the fundamentals in Fuinjutsu." With that, he handed the book to Sasuke. "Thanks, bro. I will give it a shot. What level are you on?" 10. I was stuck on 8 until I went to Uzumaki before we graduated. Jiraiya only had the material to get to level 8. "Why do you ask?" "Just wondering how far along you are and how long it took to get there," Sasuke said, and Naruto could pick up on the hopeful tone. "Well, brother, I have been doing Fuinjutsu since I was 4. I think. It is a long road. When you are ready, I will teach you the Shadow Clone Jutsu to help speed up your training. Although you would only to make a single clone with your chakra reserves right now." Now Sasuke was excited. He had wanted to learn the Shadow Clone Jutsu. He saw what Naruto could do with it and wanted it to help himself get stronger, faster. With a thank you, Sasuke went to his bed and dug into Inro to Fuinjutsu by Mito Uzumaki. The group drifted off to sleep late that night. The next day, Kuratsuchi's and Samui's made it to the tower. Kuratsuchi found Naruto in the cafeteria during lunchtime. She sat down next to him while her teammates ate at another table to give them space. Kuratsuchi opened the conversation. "Naruto-kun, when did you get to the tower?" "Last night around 8. "How was your trip through the playground?" he asked in an attentive tone. "Not too bad. Got attacked by some giant leeches, but we made some quick work of them. Then we ran into a team from Sound and took their scroll, didn't kill them, just roughed them up a bit," she replied. "Oh, yeah? Which team?" he asked in a hesitant tone. "A hunchback, some dude with arm cannons and some girl. They were strong, but we got the jump on them. I burned the hunchback pretty good with my lava jutsu. I don't think they will recover in time. We tied them up pretty good before leaving," she said while laughing at the memory of Zaku screaming profanities at her. "Better them than my friends. I am glad you made it safely," he said while flashing her a sincere smile. "Ah, shucks, Ruto-kun. I couldn't miss the finals if you are going to be in them. Anyone else here yet?" "Just the Sand team with the crazy redhead. Kuro-chan, if you have to fight the redhead, please be careful. He is the Jinchuriki of the One-Tail Shikaku and he isn't right in the head. I have a plan for him, but I don't want you getting hurt." He took her hand in his while he said this, which earned a brilliant blush. "Okay, Ruto. Thanks for the heads up. With ninja stuff out of the way, can I ask you a personal question?" Her look fell a little bit when she asked this, which concerned Naruto. He gave her hand a squeeze to urge her on. "Could you tell me about the other girls? I am not going to lie, I got jealous seeing them with you. I know I have to learn to share if we are going to make this work, but the unknown is eating at me right now." The sincerity of her tone surprised Naruto. "Kuro-chan, I am not going to lie to you. It all kind of happened at once. I am struggling with it as well because each one of you is so amazing and deserves the world. I will tell you that I planned on sitting down with everyone and getting everything out in the open. You know about Samui, she is the kunoichi from Kumo and is in the same situation you are. Then there is Anko, the proctor for the second exam. She and I were in the same ANBU squad, and I recently removed a curse mark that Orochimaru put on her. We had always been close, but after that she confessed to me, and we love each other. Naruto paused here to pull Katsuchi onto his lap. He could feel her withdrawing a bit from the conversation and didn't want to leave before he could finish. He wrapped his arms around her and gave her a sincere hug before continuing. Kuro-chan, I haven't known you very long. However, I feel myself getting closer to you. If you will have me, I know we can make this work. Anko is very open to sharing and I think Samui is cool with it, which brings me to Ino. Ino and I have been friends since we were 3 and have always been close. It had never really been romantic until recently. When you saw her give me a kiss on the cheek, she said that she didn't care if she had to share, she just wanted me. I want you to know that this effort started in an attempt to help our 2 villages, but I sincerely believe that my life will be better with you in it. He was whispering in her ear this whole time. Her head had migrated to his chest where she could feel the rhythmic beating of his chest. She felt so warm and safe in his arms. Ruto, I like you, a lot more than I thought I would. Promise me you will love me, as much as the others? She asked this with a tsundere tone while looking up into his eyes. Naruto gave her his answer by placing a short and sweet kiss on her lips. I promise, and I never go back on my word. Team Samui entered the cafeteria a couple minutes later to find Naruto talking to Katsuchi at the table. Team Yujito grabbed some food and sat down next to them. Katsuchi's teammates joined the table as well. After exchanging welcomes and battle stories from the forest, Karui cut into the pleasant conversation. Naruto-san, I don't get you. How did you get all of these girls when you are only 13? Well, Karui, it was never really my intention. I just stay true to myself. It all kind of happened simultaneously and it started after I went to Uzumaki. I will tell you what I told the Raikage, in order to honor my ancestors and restore my clans, I will need to take multiple wives. I will not force anyone into this. I will love each person that gives me the opportunity. I will love each of them equally. If I have the chance to bring a little peace to the world while doing that, then why wouldn't I try? The table entered a stunned silence until Samui did something extremely out of character for her. She got up and placed herself on Naruto's lap. She then placed a chaste kiss on his lips. That's cool with me. I am going to hold you to that, Ruto-kun. Katsuchi, not wanting to be outdone, leaned up and pulled his head to her. She gave him a similar chaste kiss and said, me too. You better not forget about me. Omoi was shocked. He normally spun off into worst-case scenarios. In his head, his imagination was going wild with all the ways this could go wrong for the intrepid blonde. So many different ways this could blow up and cause a world war. He couldn't pick one to say out loud. Karui, seeing the look in her teammate's eyes, bumped him on top of the head before he could start. The group enjoyed an entertaining conversation before splitting off. Before they left, Naruto created a clone, disappeared with the clone around a corner and then returned with the clone. Now you don't know which one is the real me. I want to spend as much time as I can with each of you while we have the time. The teams from IWA and Kumo split off, each accompanied by a Naruto. Naruto showed off his skills in massage therapy, which Samui and Katsuchi took full advantage of. Funny enough, not knowing which Naruto was the real one made it easier to just accept his presence and not think about it. The next 3 days passed in a flash. Naruto was constantly hanging out with Samui and Katsuchi simultaneously and the 3 teams ate lunch and dinners together. The Sand team didn't understand how ninja from other villages could hang out so casually together. The happiness that was all around Gaara infuriated Shikaku and made him even less stable. By the time the genin were called to gather in the arena, Gaara was practically foaming at the mouth. The genin teams that passed the second stage were as follows: Team 7, Team 8, Team 9, Team 10, Gaara's team, Katsuchi's team, Samui's team, Haku's team. 24 Genin hopeful listened to the Hokage tell them the true meaning of the chunin exams and explain why the preliminaries were necessary. The instructor Hayate Gecko laid out the rules for the fights. Essentially everything is allowed, killing is frowned upon but not illegal, and all his commands are to be followed. When he says the fight is over, it is over. A board appeared behind the Hokage's box, and a cameraman could be seen on the Hokage's balcony. In an effort for transparency and public promotion, the matches were to be broadcasted. Jiraiya and Tsunade were hosting thanks to Hiruzen's bright idea to project strength. So, the broadcast began. Ladies and gentlemen, we welcome you from Konoha's Forest of Death. I am Jiraiya, the Toad Sannin, and I am joined by Tsunade Senju, the Slug Sannin. Today, we have 24 Genin hopeful battling it out for the right to fight in front of a live crowd in the chunin exam finals. Jiraiya's loud voice carried across the stadium. We have representatives from Konoha, Sand, Cloud, Kiri and Stone. While I prefer to make love, not war, I am excited to see these young ninjas fight it out. That's right everyone. Please excuse his usual perversions and enjoy the show, said Tsunade in a warning tone. The first match is between Sasuke Uchiha of the Leaf and Karui of the Cloud. This will be a high-quality fight. The young Uchiha has produced great results recently, so it will be exciting to see how he stacks up against one of Kumo's top genin. On the balcony, Team Kumo and Naruto's team were standing close to each other. Naruto gave each of them a fist bump and leaned over the balcony. Samui was on his left with Katsuchi was on his right, and right behind him was Ino, glomming onto his back. The cameraman had zoomed in on the competitors and caught the sight of Naruto surrounded by the most beautiful kunoichi from 3 different villages. He swung the camera around to put the spotlight on the most high-profile ninja in the elemental nations. That there, folks, is Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. He is my pupil and godson. I can't tell you how proud I am to see what you folks are bearing witness to, Jiraiya said while wiping some blood from his nose. Get your head out of the gutter, Jiraiya, and focus on the fight, came Tsunade's icy cold voice. Right you are Tsunade, it looks like it has started. We have a kenjutsu battle here. It looks like both contestants are evenly matched. The Uchiha has activated his Sharingan, and it is fully matured at this age. That is quite impressive. Oh, that was quite the move. Using a lightning jutsu, Raitun, lightning ball, Karui gained the upper hand. One of those balls will leave you tingling for hours. It appears that Sasuke's right arm has gone numb. The Uchiha answers with a katan, fire flower technique and gained some space. Oh, ho, it looks like Sasuke used some lightning chakra to restore the natural balance in his right arm. Impressive chakra control for such a young genin, commentated the Slug Princess. It sure is, Tsunadeheim. To see such talent at a young age is a beautiful thing. The young redhead just closed the distance, and we have a true kenjutsu battle yet again. Ouch! Sasuke just hit Karui with a lightning-enhanced katana to the leg. And there it is folks. The Uchiha has forced a surrender from his opponent. Jiraiya's loud voice carried throughout the stadium. Back in the balcony, Samui groaned. Karui was always a little too hot-headed. Naruto rubbed her back in a comforting motion. He gave Sasuke a fist bump and a good fight when he returned to the balcony. Sasuke took a seat and leaned back against the balcony to catch his breath. Okay, Jiraiya. It looks like next we have a Konoha battle. Ino Yamenka vs Sakura Haruno. Well, Haim, you know I love a good cat fight. Let's see how this plays out. After a verbal exchange, wait a minute. Let's get a microphone down there, director, came Jiraiya's eager voice. A crew member went to the sidelines carrying a mic. No way, Ino Pig. Sasuke-kun is way better than Naruto Baka. That boy can't hold a candle to Sasuke-kun. The shrill voice of Sakura came in loud and clear. All viewers had to cover their ears from the shrill voice that cut through the speakers. Look, forehead. Agree to disagree, it is time to fight. But it is blatantly obvious that Sasuke can't hold a candle to Naruto. He never even touched him in a spar for Kami's sake. Ino was baiting Sakura, and it worked. Sakura charged her and Ino judo tossed her over her shoulder. While Sakura was recovering, Ino hit her with a clan jutsu. Jiraiya's voice came into focus. Why in the world would you hit an opponent on her back with a mind-body transfer? Why not just put a kunai to her throat? Because she is an inexperienced kunoichi, Jiraiya. It looks like something is wrong though. Tsunade's voice was curious. Inside Sakura's head, Ino had to fight Sakura's alternate personality. Trying to spare her friend physical harm, she had tried to force an easy surrender. Now, Dark Sakura was matching her punch for control of Sakura's body. In the end, both girls were rendered unconscious. Well, it looks like both girls are unconscious and the proctor has called the match a draw. I will have to talk to that young lady later to find out what happened. Mind techniques are extremely risky and fragile. So, the backfire cost her an opportunity at the finals. Tsunade now sounded disappointed. Sorry, my wonderful viewers, that it is likely most of that fight occurred in the mind. Hopefully this next fight will make up for it. We have Tenten Higurashi of the Leaf versus Tamari of the Sand. Kami must love me. The perverted giggle ended Jiraiya's statement. This is a good kunoichi battle. All you girls that wish to be kunoichi, take notes. Oh no! It looks like Tamari landed a futon, sickle weasel jutsu on Tenten. She is being shredded in midair. Oh no, she didn't. What disrespect! Tsunade roared. I have to agree with you, Tsuhime. Hitting an unconscious opponent like that shows a complete lack of sportsmanship. That kunoichi and her fan are brutal. Tenten was on the floor after hitting Tamari's fan. Every Konoha ninja was glaring at her. She shrugged it off and walked back to her team as medics came to gather the unconscious Tenten. Naruto addressed those around him, I ask y'all to be better than that. I know it is not technically against the rules, but that was dirty. He got nods from his friends and their teammates. Naruto perked up when he saw his name on the board. Okay, I get the dog boy. He jumped over the railing and walked to the center of the arena. Kiba showed up in the center of the ring with Akamaru on his head. I don't know what's so special about you, Blondie. After I beat you, I will take all those bitches off your hands though. The cocky tone Kiba used pissed everyone off. Some, watching in the Jonin bar, threw her head into her hands in embarrassment. Huh, you're a laugh, pup. Wanna know something funny? All of Q's memories are shared with me. It is safe to say I have seen your mom naked, pup, and more. Not to mention, Q is practically your daddy. Him and I share everything since we are partners, so does that make me your daddy too? Naruto couldn't stop the laughs from coming out. He was bent over holding his sides at the look on Kiba's face. Back in the Jonin bar, Sum was scarlet. She forgot that Q had mentioned that was why Naruto always blushed around her. Q owes her after this public humiliation. The brat also owes her another massage for that matter. Everyone was looking at her and gawking. Sum just ordered a double shot and tilted it back. Well, my godson has the unique ability to antagonize his opponents. As soon as Hayate started the match, Naruto dodged around Kiba and Akamaru. He hasn't even landed a hit yet. Jiraiya, the kid is outmatched. It's like pitting a guppy against a shark, for all you hidden mist shinobi. Oh, a pill to enhance his power and his dogs too. Oh, you have got to be kidding me. This kid is using a clone technique against Naruto. Tsunade started laughing. Well, everyone, if you want to have a clone fight, I would advise you not to do it against Naruto. I count about 20 clones. Oh, ha ha ha. Naruto really didn't like Kiba's opening statement, because now he is playing with his food. Jiraiya's laugh could be heard by all and infuriated Kiba further. Naruto had summoned a few clones and said that if Kiba could break one of them, then Naruto would take him seriously. The Inuzuka clan jutsu, Fang over Fang, is a strong taijutsu technique. But as I have found out over the years, strength can't beat speed if it can't catch it. It looks like one of the clones has neutralized the pup. Now it is 1 versus 20. Tsunade said, almost bored. Kiba was enraged. Past the point of no return. At this point he was nothing more than a rabid dog. Quit being a bitch, hiding behind your clones. Come and fight me like a man, you pussy. He growled over the noise. Naruto immediately dismissed his clones. Believe me, Kiba. This was me taking it easy on you and having a bit of fun. Don't blink, you Omega Hound. Ouch, here it is folks. The end result of a pup stepping up to a lion. Naruto is now a blur to most of you, but what you are missing is him landing bone-crushing hits on every part of Kiba's broken body. Jiraiya now sounded concerned. The proctor might want to call this one, it's over. To all shinobi out there, this is why it is not a good idea to antagonize an opponent that may be stronger than you. Okay, I will be right back. I am going to scrape him off the floor and put him back together before Tsum tries to kill Naruto-kun. Tsunade announced as she jumped down to the stadium floor. She coordinated the medics and took the first part of Kiba's healing. She healed the worst injuries and let the medics take over from her. She missed the next fight due to the extent of Kiba's injuries. The flinching form of Kurenai's student made her angry. She looked over at Kakashi and used her coldest tone. Is that how you teach your students to treat a comrade? Her icy tone and look are why she was named Konoha's Ice Queen. Kurenai. Did you teach Kiba that it is okay to be blatantly disrespectful to his opponents and women in general? Replied Kakashi coolly. He knew Naruto took it a little too far, but at least Kiba is still alive. Kurenai thawed out immediately upon remembering what Kiba had said. Yeah, that was gross but still. Naruto went too far. Kakashi didn't respond for 30 seconds or so. I'm sorry, did you say something? I was caught up in my reading. Kurenai huffed and walked over to Asuma, clearly pissed off. Asuma just gave Kakashi a look that said, come on man. Kakashi returned the look with an eye smile. Guy chipped in here, damn you and that hip attitude of yours, my eternal rival. Naruto made it back to the balcony, strolling casually. He gave hugs to Kuratsuchi, Samui and Ino, who was now recovered from her battle in Sakura's mind. Omoi looked at Naruto differently. The savage beating he just witnessed scared him a bit. If he somehow insulted Samui, and Samui told Naruto, then Naruto could beat him down just like Kiba. If Naruto beat him down, there could be political ramifications and the alliance with Kyumo and Konoha would be destroyed. Then Samui would kill him again for breaking her up with Naruto. Samui saw Omoi going down the drain and nudged him out of it. The group returned to the rail and resumed watching the ongoing match. Jiraiya was commentating, well folks, I am solo casting this fight. Hopefully the young Inuzuka is feeling better and will learn his lesson. Returning to the fight, the Mist Ninja is getting swarmed by the Aburame's bugs. Those are nasty little buggers. A giggle punctuated his last pun. And it looks like the fight is over. Winner, Shino Aburame. It is amazing how quickly those Kikichu bugs will zap your chakra. Tsunade returned to the booth and apologized for her absence. Well, to everyone wondering, the young Inuzuka will be just fine. It looked far worse than it was. I see the Aburame won, congrats to him. Oh, this should be interesting. The Battle of the Hyuga. Hinata vs Neji. Main house heiress versus the branch house prodigy. Jiraiya chipped in, this taunting does not seem like something family would say to each other. Young Neji is being quite disrespectful. Here we go, both pair of Byakugan activated and they are off. Neji is bigger and stronger, but the grace and speed of young Hinata is quite the sight. Indeed it is, Jiraiya. That is quite a few blows exchanged between the pair. It looks like Hinata came out slightly ahead in that exchanged. Neji lost the use of his left arm but got a significant juken hit to Hinata's chest. Hinata did it. She has knocked Neji down. Exclaimed Tsunade. On the arena floor, Hinata was standing over her downed cousin. Neji-san, I don't know where all this anger is coming from. I have always been close to you and valued you. Please surrender, I do not wish to harm you any further. Neji spat out, you are just as guilty as the rest of the main house. This seal makes me a slave, what slave wouldn't bear resentment to their owner? If I kill you in a sanctioned match, the main house can do and will do nothing. Nobody wants you, the weakest and meekest Hyuga, to be the next clan heir. Neji spat this out. Hinata reeled back as if she were struck in the heart. Neji exploded to exploit this opening with overcharged his right palm strike. Naruto could instantly tell that Neji was going for the kill and Hinata was too stunned to defend herself. He flashed in front of Hinata, a look of pure rage on his face. He caught Neji's punch with a Kurama-enhanced fist. Kurama's chakra neutralized Neji's juken. The anger Naruto was feeling also caused Neji's fist to burn on contact with Naruto's hand. He tried to pull his hand free but was unable to. Naruto met Neji's panicked gaze, you are not the Neji I remember. Since when are you such a stuck-up, brooding bitch? You think nobody noticed you going for the kill shot? Well, I did, and I will not let you touch Hinata. Pray, boy, that you do not face me in the finals because what I did to Kiba will look like a mercy compared to the state I will leave you in. He threw Neji's burned fist back into Neji's face. He turned and finally registered the jonins around him. Guy hand his hand holding Neji by the shoulder, Kakashi was behind Naruto supporting Hinata and Asuma looked like he might make a move on Naruto. Once Neji recovered from his shock, he was cradling his now burnt hand to his chest. Figures you would be another main house lapdog. I am not scared of you, Naruto. I have gotten far stronger since we were kids. Naruto laughed out loud, loud enough for the cameraman to pick it up and zoom in to capture the predatory look on his face. You have my word, Neji Hyuga. Your fight will be a public humiliation against a single one of my shadow clones. You ran away from our training sessions with your tail tucked between your legs because you could best one of my clones. So, I will give you the opportunity to show me your so-called improvement. Don't disappoint. With that said, Naruto disappeared in a swirl of wind and appeared behind Samui and Katsuchi. He latched an arm over each of their shoulders and looked down on the fuming Hyuga. Tsunade broke the stunned silence of the broadcast that followed Naruto's proclamation. Cough, well, that's something else to look forward to, folks. Next, we have Shikamaru Nara vs Samui of Kumo. Shikamaru forfeits. Okay then. For those of you that couldn't hear, he claimed it was too troublesome to fight a girl, especially a girl that was so close to Naruto. Jiraiya bellowed out a laugh, that kid is a genius. He probably knew that he couldn't beat her, so he thought up a reason. Huh, well thank you, young Nara, for a good laugh. With that, Samui will go on to the finals. In the Jonin bar next to Tsum, Shikaku Nara slammed his head on the table. He was disappointed in his son and wasn't looking forward to dealing with his wife when he returned home. Tsum gave him an understanding pat on the back. Jiraiya resumed the broadcast. Next, we have Kankuro of the Sand versus Kuratsuchi of the Stone. This is an old rivalry, and it looks like we have a puppet user here, folks. Kuratsuchi just used lava release. To be expected that the Tsuchikage's granddaughter is exceptionally talented. Tsunade, who knew where Jiraiya would take this, questioned, didn't she miss? The puppeteer got away and only his puppet was hit by the lava. Jiraiya gave Tsunade a knowing look. Well, princess, the boy that is down there screaming, hot, 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 might beg to differ with you. The cameraman panned over to the burning bandages that exposed Kankuro with his cat suit on fire. I said he was a puppeteer, so he had switched places with his puppet before the fight started. Seems like young Kuratsuchi could sense this and ended the fight before it started. Tsunade offered a fresh take. Well, it appears those two girls hanging all over my Naruto-kun will be heading to the finals. Congratulations to the Raikage and Tsuchikage. When you both come into town, drinks are on me for a night. Jiraiya chimed in, well, that's something to look forward to. Now we have Haku of the Mist versus Kuratsuchi's teammate. It has been a good fight. But now the Steel Boy is trapped in some mirrors. Well, it looks like the Yondaime wasn't the only one with a spacetime technique. I would love to get a closer look at those mirrors. Indeed, Jiraiya-kun. They are quite intriguing. The way she can travel through them and cast jutsu while in them. The mirrors must be linked to some pocket dimension. Oh ho. Now there is something you don't see every day, folks. Young Haku has frozen the ninja from the stone and encased him in ice. Well, Tsuheim, I think we call that a steel sickle. No, yeah, I guess that fell kind of flat. It is a shame. The steel release bloodline is a powerful one that would have been fun to see fight more. Anyway, Haku has been pronounced the winner of the match. We look forward to more dazzling displays from this beautiful young lady. Jiraiya said in an overly gallant manner at the conclusion of the match. Chojuro ended up winning his match against Omoi. It was a cool Kenjutsu fight that ended when Chojuro activated Hiramakari. Chojuro turned it to a massive hammer made of chakra. Omoi wasn't ready and was knocked unconscious. Next, the cannon fight from Gaara and Lee. However, with Tsunade present, Lee would only have to spend a month in the hospital to completely recover the use of his right arm and leg. Guy cried anime tears of joy when Tsunade told him this. Finally, Chuji rolled over the final kunoichi from stone and left the medics to pull her out of the floor. The winners were brought up in front of Hay-8 and drew lots to determine the matches. Hay-8 broke it down for them. Okay, we will have a tournament-style event where you will show the Kages that you have what it takes to be a chunin. The matchups will be as follows: Match 1 Naruto vs Neji. Match 2, Kuratsuchi vs Chojuro. Match 3, Sasuke vs Haku. Match 4, Samui vs Tamari. Match 5, Chuji vs Gaara. Match 6, Shino gets a bye. You have on month to train before the finals. Use this time to prepare for your opponents. You are dismissed. Naruto promised each of the girls that he would talk with them tomorrow and as much as he could over the next month. He thanked Kami and his mother for the shadow clone jutsu. The teams left the tower down a safe path through the forest of death. They each returned to their lodgings for the night. Jiraiya caught up to Naruto before he was able to make it to bed. Ruto, hold up for a sec. I wanted to talk to you about your situation and the tournament. Jiraiya said while waving him down to his father's study. What's up, Kyofu? I am tired and want to get some rest. Naruto's voice was tired with a hint of annoyance. Well, my boy. I gave the scroll for Sensual Arts, Level 1, when you were 6. From the stories I have heard, you pretty much had that down. So, it is time you graduated to the erotic arts. It will help you with you lady friends. He handed Naruto a couple of scrolls labeled Erotic Arts, Level 1, 2, and 3. He then continued, I know that you are furious at the Hyuga boy, I know I would be too. However, you cannot kill him. Humiliate him, fine. But I ask you to exercise some restraint when you face him. Do not take it so far that it creates a political mess, please. Naruto took the scrolls with a chuckle. These may actually help me, Kyofu. As far as Neji goes, I never planned on killing him. He may wish I just got it over with though. I am going to bury that stuck-up pride of his so far below sea level that he will need a scuba suit to get it back. Jiraiya chuckled, I trust you, Gaki. I am proud of you. Since I am a one-woman man now, mind keeping me up to date with your progress on those scrolls? They are the summation of my knowledge in the seductive arts, and I wanted to pass them down to you. You are my muse for my new books, and I really need the inspiration. Please, Gaki. Jiraiya was now on his knees in a begging pose. Naruto started laughing at a suggestion from Kurama and then spoke. Fine, Ero Kyofu. I will let you in on my progress so long as I can screen any content that is inspired by me. In return, you need to marry Tsunade. I will give you until the chunin exams are up to ask her. If you honor your end of the deal, I will be your muse. Jiraiya hopped to his feet and shook Naruto's hand. You have yourself a deal, Gaki. No telling Tsuhime about this either. She would punch me all the way to Kumo if she found out. Naruto let Q out of the seal to join in on the fun. The three laughed together and Naruto ended up staying for a couple drinks of sake with his godfather and partner as they reminisced. Jiraiya's recounting of Minato's courting of Kushina made Naruto and Q laugh. Especially when Q recounted Kushina's point of view on those events. It amazed Naruto how his godfather and fated partner could always put him at ease. So, he shared the latest developments of his burgeoning harem and sought advice. Jiraiya advised him to be open and honest and get the girls together as soon as possible. He told Naruto to put everything out in the open and just be himself. If the girls saw the man Jiraiya saw, there would be no issues. Q agreed with the old perv, for once, and simply added that any woman be lucky to have even a tenth of the man that Naruto is. They drank well into the night and Naruto slept peacefully for the first time in a couple weeks. Council meeting, 2 weeks after preliminary fights. Naruto was once again brought to the Konoha council room. He saw the regular attendees. With Jiraiya and Tsunade standing behind the Hokage. Naruto bowed to the Hokage and Hiruzen began. Okay, we have all reviewed the correspondence of the Raikage and Tsuchikage. Jiraiya, they were grateful we broadcasted the preliminary fights. They have sent over the first drafts of the treaties, and we have had time to review them. Naruto-kun, you were brought in because this will heavily affect you and your future family. Thank you for including me in this decision. Hokage-sama and Honorable Council. Naruto said with a bow. I presume things are going well with Katsuchi and Samui. Jiraiya-sama informs us that you have been seen around town with them. Strangely, it has been reported that you were with Anko and Ino Yamanaka as well. Care to explain? Asked Danzo. He loved the boy, but Danzo would never admit that out loud. However, it was clear to Danzo that the boy may need to exercise a bit more restraint. Hi, Danzo-sama. I have used the shadow clone jutsu to bond with each potential partner. Since removing Anko's cursed seal, we have already committed to each other. This brought up some rumblings amongst the civilian council that didn't sit well with Naruto. Civilian councillors, I would ask you to hold your tongues in my presence. I care not what you think about Anko. For everyone that is not a judgmental jackass, Anko has been cured of the cursed seal in its entirety. I trust her with my life and that will have to be good enough for you. He got nods from the ninja council. It was Hamura that cut it. My boy, I am glad you have found love. Is it wise to accept it at this time? You are currently courting 2 very beautiful young ladies from potential allied countries. I wouldn't want it to get in the way of the treaties. Hamura spoke in a cautious tone while Koharu couldn't stop a snarl from showing on her face. Hi, Hamura-sama. I have brought the girls together to meet each other. I promised each of them openness and honesty. It was difficult at first, and very awkward. However, when you bring such uncomfortable topics into the light, good can come from doing so. Flashback: 1 week ago Naruto had been spending time with each girl via his clones. Each of his clones had informed the girls about the meeting and begged each girl to attend with an open mind. So, 1 week after the preliminary fights, all of Naruto's love interests gathered in Naruto's living room to have one of the most awkward discussions of their lives. A sheepish Naruto stood up from a chair and started it off. Thank you all for coming. I understand that this is highly unusual, and I can only hope that good will come from this meeting today. Through various means, I have come to know each of you. The bottom line up front, I am falling for each of you. Your beauty, strength, wisdom and the joy I get from spending time with each of you has filled my heart with joy. I wanted to thank each of you for that and have each of you introduce yourselves. Polygamy was practiced by the Uzumaki, but it came with a strict rule. Each of the wives would have to approve of the other. Since I am not currently married, each of you will have to accept the other. I will not be taking a first or head wife. I want equality and love among my mates. With that, Anko, will you kick off introductions? Sure thing, Ruto-kun. I am Anko Mitarashi. I know Naruto from our days in ANBU. I love Ruto because he only ever saw me for me. I was the previous apprentice of Orochimaru. When he placed the cursed seal on me, I lost most of my memories of my time with the snake. The bastard then abandoned me at one of his bases where a ANBU team found me. I returned to Konoha, where the populace judged and cursed me for his sins. Ruto saw through that and appreciated me for me. When he removed my cursed seal, I confessed my love to him, and I have not regretted it since. I look forward to getting to know each of my little sisters, unless Naruto throws a cougar into this little group of ours. Anko ended with a chuckle and a chaste kiss on Naruto's cheek. Ino stood up and addressed the other girls. I am Ino Yamanaka. I met Naruto when I was 3. He was always super busy but took one day each week to spend time with me whenever possible. I didn't realize my feelings for him until I saw him shortly before we graduated from the academy. Since we got our genin teams, we have been so busy that we no longer had time for each other. When I saw him around town with you all, it broke my heart. When I learned about his clan and the CRA, I decided to confess my feelings to him. Now, here we are. I hope you can make room in your hearts for me as a potential sister wife. Ino bowed to the other girls. Katsuchi stood up next. Her posture was confident, but you could tell that she wasn't in her comfort zone. Naruto is a special guy. When my gramps called me into his office and explained what happened and the yellow flash's child ventured into the Tsuchikage's office, I was floored. When I read Naruto's letter, I began to open up. I have never been a romantic kind of girl. But, as I am sure all of you know, Ruto has the way of bringing the best out of everyone. For the past 4-ish months, we have been exchanging letters. Our courtship is diplomatic in nature and isn't exactly popular back home. I don't know how I feel about sharing, but I am open to getting to know each of you. She bowed to each girl and sat back down. Finally, Samui stood up and bowed to each girl. I am Samui of Kumo. My story is much like Katsuchi's. I found it to be crazy that the Raikage was entertaining the idea of a political marriage. Then, I read Ruto's letter. I am normally a calm and cool kunoichi. However, when I am around Ruto, I melt. He makes me feel beautiful and appreciated. His massages are pretty cool, too. All girls in the room nodded their heads at that. I know it sounds crazy, but I believe in Ruto's promise to love each of us equally. I think you are all pretty cool and I look forward to getting to know you. Thank you, ladies. Naruto was cut off by Anko. Nuhu, Ruto. It is time for girl talk. We will have to ask you to leave the room and give us some privacy. Naruto tried to mount a meager protest, but the girls agreed with Anko. Naruto caved rather quickly and went out to the training ground to join his clones. He still had to read Jiraiya scrolls and train for the finals. The girls talked for a couple hours before bringing Naruto back inside. Once he got inside, the girls surrounded him in a heavenly hug, filled with soft and supple mounds. He could feel the unsettled emotions from earlier were now gone. Each girl had made her resolve and it seemed like they were on their way to becoming fast friends. Flashback end. Naruto recovered himself from his thoughts and returned his focus to the council. He only drifted for 510 seconds before saying, "I am sorry, Hamura-san. I was lost in my thoughts. Could you please repeat that? I asked for an honest assessment of Samui and Katsuchi. It seems like you are getting along well. Is there anything that the council should know?" Hamura repeated despondently. "Well, honorable council, I have given gifts of gratitude to the Raikage, Tsuchikage and the two girls. It was from the Uzumaki treasury, so there shouldn't be a problem there. I believe that the gifts were well received. The sword Samui used in the preliminary fight was my gift to her. The necklace that Katsuchi wears is also from me. I did not give them anything that could compromise the leaf," responded Naruto in a light tone. "Naruto-san, what did you gift to the Raikage and Tsuchikage? I know that Hitomi taught you extensively about gift-giving, so I am sure it was something of note," came the voice of Hayashi Hyuga. Naruto turned and nodded respectfully to Hayashi. "Hayashi-sensei, it is wonderful to see you again. I have greatly missed our lessons." "Yes, Lady Hitomi taught me very well and I have been drawing on those lessons a lot over the past few months. I gave the Raikage a pair of enchanted boxing gloves. I thought it would fit his motif and he greatly enjoyed them. I gave the Tsuchikage a belt with Fuinjutsu enchantments to relieve his back pain and assist in movement. He also expressed his immediate gratitude. It was the return of the Pink Banshee. How dare you give gifts to foreign leaders without consulting us first? You have the audacity to give gifts to other villages and deny us access to the Uzumaki library or armory, how impudent." Mibuki was cut off mid-rant by a sword to her neck. Naruto's wakizashi was held by a clone of his. Naruto looked to the Hokage. "Hokage-sama, I grow tired of Counselor Mibuki. From what I can sense, so do many others. May I put forward a petition to remove her from the civilian council? All I need is a second to bring this motion to a vote. I assure the council, removing her will save everyone here a significant amount of time and headaches." Immediately, there were 7 hands raised from the ninja side of the council and 3 raised from the civilian side. "Well, Naruto-kun, it seems you have your vote. I will now open a vote to remove Counselor Haruno. All in favor, please raise your hands." "Ah, very well. Mibuki, you are hereby relieved of your post by a vote of 155. Please vacate your office within the week. Anbu, please escort Counselor Haruno to her office." The calm voice of Hiruzen restored order to the room. "Now, Naruto-kun, we have called you here to review the terms of the treaties. Marriage arrangements are serious things. Please read this over and bring up anything we will need to renegotiate." Naruto walked forward and reviewed the treaties. They include dual citizenship, access and sharing of family jutsu, split rights to the offspring. No, that wouldn't do. He will not split his family up. Samui wished to become a Namikaze and carry that line forward. Katsuchi wished to become an Uzumaki in order to avoid opening old wounds. Those were the main points. Naruto felt comfortable enough with the material to address the council. Hokage-sama and Honorable Council, I find many good points in these treaties. The only thing I wish to address is the split rights to my offspring. I will not split my family up. I would petition for dual citizenship for my children. I am open to negotiations of sending them to work as shinobi for our allies when they come of age. I would like to petition that age to be at least 14, preferably 16. Naruto said in a deadly serious tone. Hamura voiced his concerns first. Naruto-san, these are common terms of treaties like this. The other villages will see us as hoarding power if we keep all your offspring here. Hamura-sama, I understand that. I am willing to compromise a bit on this, but as I stated, I will not have a divided family. If we cannot see eye to eye on this, I wish to make this petition to the Raikage and Tsuchikage personally to explain my reasoning. I will pay compensation via other means if it is necessary. That is quite alright, Naruto-kun. I planned on having you there to begin with. Is there anything else from the treaties that you wish to discuss? The calm voice of Hiruzen stopped any other outbreaks before they could begin. Not that I see at this time, Hokage-sama. Very well, we will move on to the next issue. Mei Terumi, the new Mizukage, gave us a response to your letter. Imagine my surprise when I found you made her the same offer that you did to IWA and Kumo. Furthermore, I would ask you to refrain from donating to any foreign cause without consulting myself or the council first. My apologies, Hokage-sama. During my mission to Wave, I made some judgment calls within your directive to establish positive diplomatic relations with Wave country. During our initial encounter with Zabuza, I came up with an effective way to end the hostilities, protect my client and potentially gain us a new ally. I did not use any of the village's funds to do so and I gave an anonymous donation to the rebel effort. Hiruzen laughed and the tension around the room dispersed. Oh, my boy, you have brought alliances from Kumo, IWA, and Wave. Now, the mist shows up. I spoke with Mei, and she asked me to write up a treaty that mirrors what we have offered IWA and Kumo. You may have single-handedly allied 4 of the Great Five. Now, I wish to open this issue to the council. Should we accept the treaties proposed by the Hidden Mist? Danzo spoke up first. Hiruzen, I am as pleased with my pupil's efforts as you are. However, we should think about this in terms of how to best benefit Konoha. We have agreed to trade with Kumo and IWA that benefits all countries. What do we stand to gain by including the Mist? They are fresh out of a civil war and are probably in a state of disarray. There were nods of agreement with Danzo's statement. There could be very little fault found in it. It was Naruto that answered. Danzo-sama, I find merit in your words. However, the path to peace starts with a single footstep. I can tell you that I felt great strength and integrity from the Mizukage. She wishes to direct the Mist into a more positive and less isolationist direction. If we don't accept, she will look elsewhere. I can think of a few things that we can ask from the Mist. Ask yourselves though, what do we lose by accepting this agreement? Naruto displayed remarkable political reasoning for a 13-year-old. If anyone stopped to do the math, Naruto's mental age and experience would be nearly 120 years at this point. All the clones every day made him mature very rapidly. Luckily, his body and hormones balanced that out and kept him acting like the blonde knucklehead he is at heart. Shikaku chipped in, that is true Naruto. I can think of very few detriments. It is likely they would require heavy assistance from us in the beginning, but we would see rapid return on that investment. What benefits were you thinking of in exchange for Konoha's assistance? Shikaku's interest was piqued by Naruto nearly 10 years ago. Now he finds the boy to be fascinating and infuriating. He still split shogi matches whenever he played against the blonde. Their overall record was 58-64 in Naruto's favor. It is as you say, Shikaku-sama. The Mist could potentially become a valued trade partner. I would push for 10 years of reduced levies in return for our short-term financial assistance. I would propose a trade of instructors as well. There are not many Kenjutsu specialists in Konoha, which the Mist has plenty of. I propose we send Irika-sensei and a small team of teachers to assist the Mist in reforming their education system in return for a Kenjutsu instructor or two. Naruto said all this with practiced ease. And what of your involvement and potential engagement to a kunoichi of their choosing? You already have 4 members and the CRA will only allow you up to 6. Not to mention, one of those is my daughter. Inoichi's voice trailed off at the end. Inoichi-sama, if I must take multiple wives to rebuild my clan, why not secure world peace by doing it? If they make an offer, I will hear them out. My condition still stands, I will only marry for love and those that gain the approval of my future wives. If I feel anything off with their choice, I will let Hokage-sama know. Hiruzen chuckled, so, you would accept another potential fiancé? Naruto scratched the back of his neck sheepishly and his eyes closed all the way in embarrassment. If that is the wish of my Hokage and his council. Yes, I will consider it. Very well, Naruto-kun. There is to be a Kage summit of sorts and you are the man of the hour. Which brings me to my final topic. I, Hiruzen Sarutobi, nominate Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze as my heir apparent. Upon his 18th birthday, I will pass the mantle of Hokage to him. If I die before then, I trust Danzo to hold my place until his 18th birthday. After the chunin exams, Naruto will spend at least 3 days per week apprenticing under the Hokage. We will now hold a vote to confirm this plan. Are there any objections before the vote is taken? It was Tsunade that spoke up. Hokage-sama, are you sure Danzo should be your replacement? I know he has changed much over the years. Even I have to admit I am surprised. However, I thought you would nominate Jiraiya or myself. There were a couple nods of agreement from the Ninja Council before the Hokage responded. Tsunade, I had thought you would want no part of it. However, I choose Danzo because he has taught Naruto since he was a boy. Since his return to the light, I have found the friend and rival I respected. Furthermore, there is nobody more devout to protecting the great tree than Danzo. It is only a precaution, but I choose to trust him. Hokage-sama, why appoint Naruto-san at 18? Isn't that still too young? Shouldn't we let him gain more experience? Came the call of a civilian counselor. Oh ho! And how many of you have negotiated peace treaties with 3 of the Great Five before? That handles the experience issue. Not to mention, once Naruto is 15, he will likely be connected by marriage to 3 of the villages. Who better to have as Hokage? I might add that the Fire Lord agrees with me and wished to name Naruto Hokage upon his 15th birthday. It was I that extended it to 18 so that Naruto-kun may enjoy his youth. Hiruzen said while enjoying the reactions on the faces of his counselors. Kami blesses it, Naruto even made council meetings entertaining. The vote was called and approved the Hokage's proposal 128. Mikoto couldn't bring herself to vote for Danzo due to past transgressions against the Uchiha clan. Hayashi also voted against him for that same reason. It was Shikaku that turned the vote in Danzo's favor by saying that the whole point of everything Naruto was doing was to bury the proverbial hatchet and move forward. That helped the measure get approved and drew the council to a close. After they were dismissed, Naruto approached Hayashi. Hayashi-sensei, I wanted to talk to you about Neji's actions in the preliminary fight, about his punishment and about a potential gift to the Hyuga clan from the Uzumaki. Hayashi raised his eyebrows at this and nodded his head. The two moved to a side room and threw up a privacy seal. Go ahead, Naruto-san. Ah, come on sensei. It's just the 2 of us, so can we drop the formalities? At Hayashi's nod, he continued. I do not know how the darkness crept into Neji's heart. What I felt from him was immense rage. I can only presume it is his destiny as a caged bird. As you well know, I despise that practice of your clan. I recently completed the removal process and the alternate protection seal. Naruto paused here to let Hayashi soak that in. Is that so? That will present quite the internal struggle to the Hyuga. Will you give me your word that the new seal is effective? He asked in a cautious tone. Yes, Hayashi-sama. After I beat the darkness out of Neji, which I apologize for in advance, I plan on removing his caged bird seal in public. I propose this to put your elders into an uncomfortable position. If I place an alternate protection method on your Byakugan, they lose their strongest argument. Then, the caged bird seal will only be seen as a means to enslave rather than protect. I know you and Hitomi have been looking for a way out, well, I am offering one. Naruto let out a deep breath. He knew Hayashi was a traditionalist, but luckily Hitomi kept the man positive and had broken through on this topic. Okay, Naruto. I will allow you to move forward with your plan. I will delay the Hyuga from seeking recompense for your actions. I will also seek to have the caged bird seal removed and replaced throughout the clan. Will I have your backing in this? You have become quite a powerful political figure. Sure thing, sensei. Naruto's bright smile was all Hayashi needed. Now it was time to watch the show play out. Chunin exam finals. Naruto woke up early on the day of the finals. This had been an amazing month for him. The time he spent with his girls was so positive and uplifting that it kept a smile plastered on his face. The girls often requested to go on dates together. Anko took a special liking to Ino. It seemed both of them were bi-curious. They would never do anything without Naruto present, but they had kissed a few times, and liked it. Katsuchi and Samui were a far less excitable pairing, but they found comfort in each other's presence. They really started hitting it off after Naruto took them out for a date to a nice restaurant and then took them to the Hokage monument to look over the village at night. Both were really starting to fall for the handsome blonde. Tsunade had apologized to Anko a couple of weeks ago. Since then, Anko was frequently in Naruto's room at night. She was a more than willing test subject for Naruto's new, erotic jutsu. The application of various types of chakras got various results. Naruto found that applying lightning and water chakra was the best for sensual stimulation of erogenous zones. The application of small amounts of fire chakra to his dick and fingertips would help keep Anko on her toes. Fire chakra in combination with water chakra also made his massages even more effective. By the end of each night, Anko was putty in Naruto's hands. Naruto had perfected the removal seal. For the caged bird seal, and his theory work on the new seal was sound. There was no way to be 100% sure without actually applying it to a Byakugan user. Naruto had shared his plan with Jiraiya and Tsunade. They were concerned about the political fallout but trusted him. They each said they would step in and have his back if worst came to worst. Naruto woke up, at breakfast and stretched. He meditated for an hour and then let Q out. Q wanted to watch from the stands with Tsum and Matatabi. It took Yujito a while, but she learned the shadow clone jutsu and let Matatabi out a few times to go rut with Q. It helped quiet the cat's incessant rumblings when she returned to Yujito's mind. She yelled at Naruto for not warning her about the memory transfer the day after Q and Tabi, Matatabi's alias, had sex. Naruto laughed his way to the bank after that. So, with a fist bump and good luck, Q left Naruto to finish his meditation. Naruto showed up in the arena an hour early and met in the dignitary's room. He greeted Ai, Anoki, Mei and the Fire Daimyo. All were excited to see his matches and promised to chat more after the finals. After agreeing to meet the Hokage in his booth at the start of the matches, he left. An hour later, 11 contestants and Hei-8 looked up at the Kage's box. The arena was jam-packed with civilians, ninja and foreign dignitaries alike. The dull roar quieted after Hiruzen stood up and used a jutsu to address the crowds. To the citizens of Fire Country, our guests, foreign dignitaries, the Raikage, Tsuchikage, Mizukage and Kazekage, I welcome you to the 30th biannual chunin exams. Before we begin today, I wanted to make an announcement. It has been my pleasure to serve Konoha and Fire Country for the past 56 years. I am proud of the will of fire that has grown fiercely in our village. The will has led to the gathering of the Great Five and brought us closer to peace. Today, it brings me great pleasure to announce that I have found my successor. I hereby nominate Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze as my successor, to take effect on his 18th birthday. Naruto, please step forward, my boy. Naruto stepped forward, wearing a Heirin Kage-shaped hat that denoted him as the heir apparent. He waved to the crowds and took in the cacophony of shouts and praises. He loved his village, this just reaffirmed it. Behind him, Ai and Anoki smiled because they knew that Naruto was going to honor his promise to them. Hiruzen raised his arms and waited for silence. Naruto is the son of our late Yondaime Hokage. He is also the reason that we have all 5 Kage together here for the first time in over a decade. He has inspired peace talks that will take place after these chunin exams. I ask you all to pray to Kami for her blessing of peace. May the elemental nations prosper together. Without further ado, let us start the chunin exam finals. Heiei had the finalists clear the field and called for Neji and Naruto. Naruto threw a 3-pronged kunai at Heiei, who caught it deftly. Naruto then appeared in a yellow flash in front of Heiei and took the kunai back from his. This drew audible gasps from the crowd and then a roar of cheers exploded from the citizens of Fire Country. The twist of the Kazekage's lips into a brief snarl wasn't missed by Hiruzen. He gave hand signs to his guards, Jiraiya and Tsunade, so they would be ready. You were always so flashy. No matter, Naruto, today fate will favor me. Snarled out Neji. In a way, it will. Was Naruto's simple reply. Heiei began the match and Naruto made a single shadow clone, applied a reinforcement seal, then addressed the audience. Today, Neji will face a single shadow clone of mine. This is to teach his arrogant ass humility. If Neji destroys this clone, he wins the match. Naruto's voice carried around the arena and was met by looks of confusion and outrage from the gamblers. The clone of Naruto, dubbed Ruto for this fight, stepped forward and squared off against Neji. He secured the original's pouch to his leg. The two stared each other down for nearly a minute before Heiei coughed, igniting the two's movement. Ruto sped off in a blur while Neji activated his Byakugan. Neji processes the clone dropped something out of his pack, and then Neji's whole world went white. The blinding power of Ruto's flash tags was set to maximum. Neji screamed out in a panic as he lost his sight. Ruto started beating on the Hyuga. He could have ended it all at once, but what kind of punishment would that be? The beatdown was interrupted after 3 minutes when Neji called out, "Heavenly Spin," and a blue dome of chakra emerged around his spinning form. Ruto had to halt his advance until the dome faded. As soon as it did, Ruto appeared in a shunshin next to Neji and kicked him on his chin. Neji went sailing into the air. What happened next was unreal. Ruto jumped into the air and summoned 10 shadow clones. Neji received a straight kick to his chest and an elbow to his face to propel him nearly 50 feet in the air. Then, in rapid succession, 3 clones landed successive punches plummeting Neji to the ground. The whole time, Ruto's clone were saying, "Uzumaki barrage." The real Naruto flashed to Neji's location and quickly set up a barrier before Heiei could intervene. He applied a pre-made seal tag to the unconscious Neji's forehead. He paused briefly to look directly at the Hyuga section of the audience and locked eyes with Hayashi and Hizashi. He then channeled chakra to the tag and called out, "Fuin, Kai." The seal disappeared from Neji's forehead. The Hyugas with their Byakugan activated, jumped the rails into the stadium and charged the barrier. Naruto then applied the new protection seal, which looked like the symbol of the leaf, and applied it to the base of Neji's neck. A quick Uzumaki protection of the whirlpool, Fuin, was all that could be heard before all hell broke loose. The Hyuga elders and a couple of main house members surrounded the barrier in fighting stances. Hayashi and the Hokage appeared in front of them, surrounded by Anbu. You will stand down or face my wrath. The god of Shinobi made an appearance. The stadium was deathly silent. But a Hyuga elder was cut off mid-sentence by Hayashi. Silence. We will disrupt these exams no further. Any action taken by the Hyuga will be done through me via the proper channels. Return to your seats or take a trip to T&I. A very displeased group of Hyuga elders frowned the whole way back to their seats. Hayashi bowed in apology to the Hokage before taking Neji's limp form from Naruto. The Hokage nodded to Hay-8, so Hay-8 announced the winner of the match, Naruto Uzumaki Namikaze. The brief and awkward silence was replaced by a dull roar as Naruto walked to the finalists' box. When Hiruzen rejoined the Kages in the Kage box, he entered the ongoing conversation. That was ruthless and efficient. He completely took away his foe's greatest strength and dismantled him. Remarked May. AI chuckled, that beatdown was something special. I bet you that boy planned out how he was going to punish the Hyuga. We all watched the preliminaries and saw him. That cold look in his eyes is the same his father always wore on the battlefield. Anoki chimed in. Indeed, AI. I remember that look well. It still amazes me how he approached us. That bold look in his eyes and the oath he swore brought life back to my old bones. Hiruzen's chuckle drew the group's attention. Naruto-kun has that effect on people. I apologize, Kazekage, Naruto didn't have time to make it to your village. Think nothing of it, Hokage. So, am I invited to the Kage summit that I heard you were having? Came the cold voice of the Kazekage. Ah, I had planned on inviting you after the finals, old friend. Was Hiruzen's cheerful reply. It was met by a curt nod and turn of the head from the Kazekage. Or, would have if you didn't kill the Kazekage, Orochimaru. You will not escape this time. Was the Hokage's follow-up thought. Back on the field, Kuratsuchi and Chojuro took their places. Anoki decided to comment, is that one of the new swordsmen of the mist, Maidano? Indeed, Anoki Dano. I was quite impressed by you granddaughter's lava release. If these treaties work out, I propose an exchange of jutsu and training, would enjoy passing on my techniques. Quite an interesting idea. Let's get it on paper and discuss it over some sake later. Replied Anoki. The fight had begun and Kuratsuchi was dodging around Chojuro's attacks. She had prepared to fight against swords for most of the month by sparring against a Naruto clone. Naruto was far faster and more graceful than Chojuro. She used a flash tag Naruto had given her to buy some space. The stunned and partially blinded Chojuro lost sight of his opponent. He saw her coming to attack him with a lava-coated fist to attack him. Chojuro channeled chakra to Hiramakiri and extended it into a bat of chakra. When he hit the clone, it melted into a pool of lava around the chakra construct. Kuratsuchi appeared behind Chojuro from beneath the ground. Chojuro's arms were still extended in the swing and Kuratsuchi had a kunai to his neck. Winner, Kuratsuchi of Iwagakure. Hay-8's voice echoed across the stadium. A polite applause followed the good fight. Sasuke Uchiha and Haku Momochi, please come to the field. Up in the Kage box, Anoki had just finished doting on his granddaughter. May conceded, it was a good fight, Anoki Dano. She earned my gratitude for not taking young Chojuro's life. Zabuza, please step up the training regimen for the future swordsman. He left me wanting, so I expect you to make up for it. The playful and flirtatious tone earned sweat drops from the other Kage. Sasuke was excited. He had seen Haku's match and witnessed her power. Itachi took the whole month to train him. His training focused on agility, which combined with the gravity seals, produced a monstrous improvement of his speed. While his eyes could track Haku in her mirrors, he doubted if his body could keep up. He wanted to prove himself to this foe that Naruto had already bested. It was important to him to take this step forward to join Naruto in pursuit of the orange mask. After Hayate started the fight, Sasuke took off and appeared in front of Haku. Haku could keep up with his speed, but Sasuke had more power behind each hit. Kunais are heavier and denser than her Senbon. Therefore, she was steadily losing the battle blow by blow. She finally caught one of Sasuke's hands and forced him to drop his kunai. She blocked his knee strike with her knee while going through one-handed seals. Everyone was stunned to see a genin working with one-handed seals. This was a high-level technique that few jonin ever mastered. Sasuke was too stunned to react to Haku turning into ice and starting to cover his right arm. It was then that Sasuke was in trouble. Immobilized by the ice clone, Sasuke could not escape the crystal ice mirrors technique before it had completely surrounded him. The real Haku appeared in all 20 mirrors. Sasuke had his Sharingan activated and could tell that this jutsu took a lot of chakra. He was dodging volleys of Senbon needles when he heard Hayaton, violent blizzard. One of the mirrors turned into snow and ice shards that flew throughout the dome. Sasuke put up a desperate defense by blowing out great fireballs to melt the snow. His desperate tactic eventually worked, leaving both contestants drained. Sasuke had cuts all over him, trickling blood, nothing too deep, but it took a heavy toll on him. Meanwhile, Haku was panting from her overuse of chakra. Sasuke saw the mirrors weakening and took a deep breath. Katon, flamethrower jutsu. He concentrated the beam of fire on one of the mirrors nearest him. He maintained the technique until 3 of Haku's ice mirrors shattered. She didn't have enough chakra to reform them, so Sasuke was able to escape. Sasuke paid for his escape by catching 3 Senbon needles to his back. The fight in the center of the stadium reset to the roars of the crowd. Sasuke was heavily injured and quite exhausted. He had yet to land a quality strike on his opponent. He saw Haku stumble for a brief step before looking up to ascertain Sasuke's position. Her eyes met his for a brief moment, but that was all it took. Sasuke put her into a hell-viewing genjutsu. While Haku was stuck in the genjutsu, he used his top speed to take her back and put a kunai to her neck. When Haku broke out of the illusion she took in her position. "Proctor, I forfeit," Haku said in a dejected voice. "Winner, Sasuke Uchiha," said Hayate while raising Sasuke's right hand. The stadium erupted in cheers for Sasuke. Strangely, the Kazekage could be seen giving a polite golf clap for the Uchiha. Hiruzen flashed some hand seals to Jiraiya. Sasuke. Potential. Target. Get. Hawk. Jiraiya excused himself to go to the restroom and alerted Hawk of the Hokage's suspicions. Hawk told Jiraiya he had Sasuke covered before Jiraiya returned to his post. The fourth match between Samui and Tamari was a battle of opposites. Samui generally preferred close-range fighting with her katana. Her opponent was a long-range wind fighter, so Samui had to close the distance fast. Tamari floated down to the stadium on her fan with a cocky smirk plastered on her face. She had her fan opened slightly so one purple moon could be seen on the inside of her fan. As soon as Hayate opened the match, Tamari launched a futon wind gale at Samui. Samui answered this by using Shunshin to dodge the gale to the left. She flew through hand signs and whispered Raiton, lightning beast tracking. A wolf made of lightning took shape from the lightning chakra in her hands and charged at Tamari. Tamari knew lightning beat wind, so she ran from the lightning beast that was now chasing after her. This particular jutsu wasn't that strong, but it locked on to an opponent's chakra signature and ran at them until it hit something. Tamari dodged away from the lightning beast 3 times before she was able to dispel it with a couple kunai. However, Samui used this distraction to close the distance. By the time Tamari realized it, Samui was 2 paces away, already swinging her sword. The sword's edge had a blue hue to it, and it was sparking. Tamari closed her fan and held it perpendicular to block Samui's horizontal slash. She wasn't ready for the sword to glide through the thick metal of her battle fan as if it were hot butter. Tamari was left stunned, holding the 2 separate pieces of her battle fan as Samui held her blade an inch from her neck. The shocking sensation she could feel from sparks of electricity quickly encouraged her to surrender. Hayate called the match and Tamari fell to her knees. She had never been so soundly beaten before. And what the hell is with that sword? I have faced lightning users before, but nothing has ever gotten through my battle fan. Shit, what am I going to do during the invasion? Well. Shit. Were the thoughts racing through Tamari's head as Samui walked off the battlefield. That is quite the exceptional talent you have there, Raikage Dano. She had a battle plan and completely outplayed her opponent. Hiruzen added a slightly playful tone to his voice to egg Orochimaru on. Why, thank you, Hokage Dano. It is always nice to get a compliment from one hailed as the god of Shinobi. I must admit it is good to see the fire in your eyes again. Came the Raikage Scudamord reply. Well, I can see the light at the end of the tunnel, Raikage Dano. Since I am on my way out, how much would any of you give for the secret to defeating paperwork? I will admit it is an Uzumaki original jutsu that was entrusted to Konoha, but I think Naruto-kun would be willing to share it with you. Hiruzen's tone was now jubilant. The Kage, Orochimaru included, surrounded him like rabid dogs surrounded the last piece of bacon. Anoki opened. Hiruzen, how long have you known of this jutsu? I thought we had a fellow bond as senior Kage. Surely, you would be willing to part with this secret of yours. The desperation in his tone would be something Hiruzen would never forget. The Raikage cut in, whatever the old fence-sitter offers, I will double it. Hokage Dano, please. It is the bane of my existence. I simply wish to train more to keep this old body strong. May added her petition. It was much easier when I was simply fighting the rebellion. All of the cleanup and reform paperwork is drowning me. It is one of the main reasons I came here and left AO in charge. I will offer one of the 7 swords as payment. Orochimaru may be a rogue ninja, but he still had all of the paperwork that being the Kage of Otagacore produced. It had cut into his experimenting significantly. Hell, he would call off the invasion for this secret alone. Hiruzen, surely you would be willing to share this secret with an ally? The Hokage, Jiraiya and Tsunade all laughed gleefully. It was so simple, yet due to its simplicity, nobody thought it could solve the age-old problem of paperwork. I will leave negotiations on this topic to Naruto-kun, since he is my heir apparent. I am sure that he would be willing to part with it, but what you offer him is up to you. All the Kage settled down at this. The old monkey had just played them. They didn't even realize that Chuji had forfeited his match against Gaara. Flashback, 3 days ago Naruto walked up to the Akimichi household around dinner time with Q by his side. Chuza answered the door after he knocked. He gave Naruto a jovial greeting and a pat on the back before inviting him in for dinner. Naruto had visited the Akimichi about once a month to bond and learn more about the nutrition requirements of the Akimichi. Naruto thought that they were an unappreciated resource in the village and wanted to use them to improve training regiments and the overall quality of Konoha shinobi. Chuza was more than willing to talk to his old friend's son, which is why he was so caught off guard by Naruto's serious mood. Naruto sat with Q at the Akimichi table, and they were joined by Chuza, Chuji and Chiharu, once she had served the food. They ate in peace, but everyone noticed the difference in Naruto's demeanor. Naruto knew to never bring negative news to an Akimichi before they ate, so he did his best to enjoy the meal. After all parties had finished the main course and Chihiro was serving some key lime pie, Chuza addressed Naruto. "Okay, Naruto-kun. Thanks for letting us eat in peace, but now it is bothering me. What has you down, my boy?" The normally cheery face had a battle-hardened seriousness on it. "Chuza-sama, you heard the news from Shikaku today, correct?" At Chuza's nod, he continued. "Well, part of that is that Gaara is the Jinchuriki of the Ichibi, Shikaku. To make matters worse, his seal is so poorly done that there is almost no barrier between human and Biju. Q cut in here. My brother has always been bloodthirsty, but this is the craziest I have seen him. I have grown to care for my kid's friends and wished to warn you." "Brother?" Chuji asked. "Yeah, Chuji. Please, don't freak out. I plan on revoking the Hokage's edict anyway. I am the Jinchuriki of the nine-tailed fox, Kyubi. He was sealed into me on the day of my birth." Naruto paused here, taking in Chuji's stunned expression, and just decided to rip the bandage off quickly. "Q is actually the Kyubi freed by a jutsu I created." Chuza, already being in the know, put a big hand on Chuji's shoulder. "Son, I know this is a lot to take in, but you must accept there is a lot you don't know. I will leave the rest to Naruto to reveal to you in time." Chuji's head had turned and gotten stuck looking into Q's eyes. Q met his gobsmacked expression with a playful gaze and smirk on his lips. "Look, Chuji. You can digest that later. Q has been my friend and partner since a little after I turned 8. If it means anything to you, know that I trust him with my life. I came here today to warn you about Gaara. I do not doubt your strength, but I would ask you to consider forfeiting. I do not wish to see you get hurt or die unnecessarily. Know that I have a plan to deal with it when the time comes. That is all we wanted to say. Thank you for a wonderful dinner." Q and Naruto left the Akimichi household with the thanks of Chuza and Chihiro for looking out for their boy. Flashback end. Returning to the stadium, Hayate announced that there would be a 20-minute intermission followed by a display for Lord Jiraiya. The 20 minutes came and went, and Jiraiya jumped from the roof of the stadium while performing a summoning jutsu. 3 giant battle toads appeared, barely fitting into the center of the arena. Jiraiya stood on the head of Gamabunta and addressed the stadium. "Ladies and gentlemen, many of you have heard of the gallant Jiraiya and may have heard stories of my womanizing ways. Many more of you may have read my books. I wanted to share something with all of you. 8 years ago, my life changed. Many of you noticed my absence from bathhouses and brothels." The audience chuckled at this. "I credit this to the love of my life, Tsunade Senju. This wonderful woman always had my heart in the palm of her hands, and 8 years ago she gave me a chance. I thank Kami every day for this. You all know of her beauty and skill in the medical field. What you don't know is that she has the biggest heart hidden behind that beautiful camoblessed bust of hers." Whistles and cheers met this statement. Jiraiya continued, getting down on one knee. The toads mirrored him and dropped to a knee and bowed their heads to Tsunade, who was now standing over the rail of the Kage box, clutching her chest. "Tsunade Senju, I promise to love and cherish you for the rest of my days. I swear off all other women and to hold you close every night I can. Will you do me the honor of becoming my wife?" Tsunade jumped out onto Bunta's head, tears streaming in her wake, leaving a glistening path. She landed and hugged Jiraiya, completely ignoring the massive diamond ring. "Yes, it took you long enough, you baka." She said yes. Yelled an ecstatic Jiraiya. The toads let out shouts of joy as they stood. The women of the audience were blown away by the adorable display. Every single girlfriend looked at their men wishing for something as romantic as this. The guys were focused on cheering for the toad Sannin. Orochimaru hissed a bit in jealousy. He always had a thing for Tsunade, but his experiments were more important. As they cleared the field in giant puffs of smoke, Hiruzen stood and addressed the crowd again. It is a joyous day for Fire Country. Let's give the newly engaged couple a round of applause. The Hokage waited for the applause to die down. Without further ado, let's begin the second round of the chunin exams. Katsuchi jumped down onto the field with Naruto. They gave each other a chaste kiss, earning more catcalls from the crowd. They wished each other good luck and took their positions. Hiruzen and Anoki sat forward in their chairs. Anoki had no delusions his granddaughter would win, but he was hoping for a good fight. Hayate began the match and the two lunged at each other with smiles on their faces. Naruto started by performing a blunting jutsu on his blade. This surrounded the blade with a small cushion of air, preventing it from being lethal, for the most part. He started with a swift horizontal strike at her midsection, which she promptly jumped over, spinning over his head and lashing out with a kick. Naruto casually moved the head out of her foot's path as she sailed over him. Naruto wanted to give her a chance to show off a bit, so he didn't take advantage of the obvious opening. She landed 10 feet away from Naruto and turned to see him, smiling that adorable smile of his. When he raised his arm and did a "come get some" motion with his fingers, she was back at him. She launched a Doton, earth spike jutsu, at him. 3 rows of 5-foot-tall spikes rapidly made their way toward Naruto. Naruto created 2 clones to his left and right, then jumped in the air. Katsuchi spit a series of lava balls at the airborne Naruto. There was a brief shimmer and a Naruto clone popped out of existence. Using substitution with his clones is practically cheating. Before she knew it, she was wrapped in a hug from behind and Naruto placed a kiss on her cheek before ducking under an elbow that was swung at his head. Naruto launched back into a series of backflips before he landed holding the bird seal. A massive gust of wind kicked up sand throughout the whole arena. Naruto's futon, great breakthrough, was so strong it could be classified as an rank jutsu. Katsuchi flipped 2 hand signs and spit out a mud wall that shielded her from the wind blast. She immediately began a long series of hand signs and placed her hands on the ground, whispering, "Yoten, great volcano jutsu." The ground shook under Naruto and he knew he may be in trouble here. Without waiting for the results, Naruto substituted with his clone hidden in the tree. A 20-foot-tall volcano sprouted out of the ground, spitting lava. The whole arena grew noticeably hotter. Naruto's clone had said "fuck this" and dispelled before the heat could hit it. The middle of the arena was now coated in lava. Naruto let out a low whistle in appreciation for the jutsu at the panting Katsuchi. She was standing near the lava's edge, and her head swiveled in his direction when she heard the whistle. Naruto took full advantage of her momentary fatigue and distraction to shunshin behind her. He once again wrapped her up, but in a full Nelson this time. Katsuchi fell back on top of him as her legs were forced to separate and give out. After whispering "good fight, sweetheart" into her ear, Katsuchi called out that she admitted defeat. Naruto was announced the winner. Naruto transitioned from a full Nelson to just wrapping his arms around her midsection. A blushing Katsuchi brought an elbow into his gut and whispered, "Not now, baka." Naruto smiled and kipped up on his feet. The two left the arena together, holding hands. Anoki was proud of the display Katsuchi put on, even though the blonde brat was playing with her. He knew Naruto's skill level and felt no shame. He was also happy to see them getting along so well. It was a good sign for things to come. "Well, I will have to beat some humility into that boy of yours, Hokage Dano. I am grateful that it ended without Kuro-chan getting hurt though. It was all in good fun, Anoki. I am glad to see how close they have gotten over this month. Young love is such a beautiful thing," Hiruzen said with a big smile on his face. "I do hope there is room left in his heart for Haku-chan. Zabuza, you should be taking notes, you studly oaf." Zabuza grunted at Mei's double low blow. He still didn't think the Gaki deserved Haku, and now his girlfriend was comparing her to some brat. Oh, Zabuza couldn't wait to fight the damn Gaki. Orochimaru was furious. The leaders of 4 villages were sitting and chatting like time-old friends. He knew this probably ruined his plans. The other Kage would definitely interfere at this rate. However, he had his trump cards. He just needs to kill the old monkey and escape. It was far too late to call off the invasion. If he had time, he should kill the damn brat while he is at it. This kid is far too strong and would only get stronger with age. Sasuke and Samui were walking onto the field. Sasuke was clearly still tired from his chakra-intensive fight with Haku. Samui approached in a very slow and cool pace. Both contestants nodded at Hey-8 and a brilliant Kenjutsu battle followed. The audience really got into it when both contestants sheathed their swords in lightning chakra. However, the fight changed when Samui's Storm's Edge had finally sliced through Sasuke's sword. When it came to a blade coated in lightning chakra, penetration was the specialty of the lightning element. The superior quality of the Uzumaki sword helped Samui achieve victory. The fight ended when Sasuke stumbled backward to avoid Samui's blade after his katana snapped. Samui held her blade over the Uchiha's heart and got him to surrender. She offered him a hand up after Hey-8 called the fight. "Where did you get that blade, Samui-san?" Sasuke asked with more than a little jealousy. "It was a gift from Naruto. He said it was one of his clan's swords. Its name is Storm's Edge. She held her blade in its sheath for him to inspect as they walked back to the finalists' box. Sasuke unsheathed the blade and couldn't help the fit of jealousy. The edge of the blade was in perfect condition, not a single nick on it. He couldn't help the fit of jealousy and rage that swept over him. As they walked into the box, he held up the blade and called out to Naruto. "Oi, Naruto, what the hell, man? I am one of your best friends and I don't get anything while you give this treasure to your girlfriend. What the hell, bro?" Sasuke's indignant voice carried out past the finalists' box and could be heard by the rookies. Naruto just walked up to Samui, snaked his arms around her waist and gave her a passionate kiss. "You see, bro. You don't do that for me. It is that simple. I tell you what, stop by the compound and I will hook you up, but don't you have some family blades handed down through the Uchiha?" "Naruto, she just sliced through one of those blades like it was nothing. There isn't even a nick on her sword." Sasuke's indignant voice once again carried to the rookies. Naruto just rubbed the back of his neck and smiled. "That's the power of Fuinjutsu, bud. The blade takes her chakra to repair the edge. Come on and enjoy the rest of the matches." Sasuke calmed down and took his seat. Naruto went back to his seat next to Katsuchi and Samui took the one to his other side. The throuple held hands and had content looks on their faces. Then Naruto realized that the next match was Gaara versus Shino. He jumped over to Shino and whispered something in his ear. Shino nodded before jumping down to the field. The fight between Gaara and Shino was interesting. Shino kept dodging Gaara's sand attacks. He hit his bugs in Gaara's sand and was able to drain a considerable chunk of his chakra. Unfortunately, he now knew that he was up against a Jinchuriki, so that wouldn't win him the fight. After Gaara launched a tidal wave of sand at Shino, Shino jumped to the far wall and called out to the proctor. "Proctor, I forfeit. There is no way for me to win against this opponent." Shino yelled in the loudest voice anyone had ever heard him use. He was forced to dodge multiple sand javelin as he was saying this. Hey-8 jumped in front of Gaara and announced him the winner. Gaara was beyond infuriated. He hadn't gotten to kill a single person. Shikaku was in his head, acting as his mother, demanding blood. Hey-8 called out and addressed the crowd. There will be a 10-minute break before a three-way battle will determine the winner of the exams. Gaara barely reeled in his bloodlust. He jumped up to the finalists' box and said, "Let's go, Uzumaki. Mother wants your blood." There is a 10-minute break, dipshit," was Naruto's eloquent response. He wanted to talk to Samui. He got her to agree to withdraw. She knew Gaara was a Jinchuriki and Naruto just told her about the expected invasion. She didn't want to get in Naruto's way, and she wanted to conserve strength for the invasion. Naruto created a clone that flashed into the Hokage's box. "Pardon my intrusion, Honorable Kage. I must speak with Hokage-sama," he said while bowing low to show respect. Hiruzen nodded and took Naruto into a private conference room that was attached to the Kage box. He put his hands on the wall and activated a strong privacy seal. "What is it, Naruto-kun?" Hiruzen asked in a concerned voice. "Well, I am sure you know, the Kazekage is Orochimaru. I think Gaara is the trigger. I plan on neutralizing him before he explodes. I want to seal his Biju's chakra. If that doesn't work, I will knock him out the old-fashioned way. Since the Kazekage is likely dead, it shouldn't cause an international incident." Hiruzen was always blown away by the serious version of Naruto. He was impressed that the boy would so readily step up to a Jinchuriki. "What would you like me to do?" asked Hiruzen, matching Naruto's seriousness. "Keep everyone out of my way. Keep your guard up and don't let the snake get you in a onionon. Please take this kunai as well. I have a feeling I may need to join your fight. If the snake or anyone else tries to prevent me from sealing Gaara, please stop them. It will take unbroken concentration for this to work." Hiruzen took the kunai from Naruto and stowed it under his robes. He would put the Anbu and Jonin on high alert. "What of Samui-chan? I have explained things to her, and she will withdraw." "Okay, Gigi, see you on the other side. If anything happens to me, I love you. Thank you for all you have done for me." He wrapped Hiruzen in a heartwarming hug, which the Hokage returned. This one moment was more than enough payment for the near heart attacks this blonde caused him. "Do be safe, my boy. I will see you when this is over. Have faith in your Kage." Hiruzen's calm voice put Naruto at ease as he left the room and jumped from the booth down to the field. He recalled Q into the seal for this fight, knowing he would need his partner's help to get this done right. Samui leaned out of the finalist box and announced her withdrawal, to the disappointment of the crowd. Throughout the crowd, Jonin were receiving a telecommunication from Inoichi, who was relaying the Hokage's orders. Their postures all straightened, and they became alert. Most of them were alerting the junior allied shinobi next to them in hushed tones. Gaara appeared in the arena in front of Naruto by Sand Shunshin. The bloodlust he radiated hung thick in the air. "All right, Kit. It is time to deal with my brother. I have talked to Yujito, and they will help deal with the invasion. If things spiral out of control, use the summoning jutsu. I sent my subordinate back yesterday and placed them on high alert. They will answer my call. And don't forget, Kit. I am here for you." Kurama felt his partner relax internally at this statement. Sage, he really had fallen under this brat's spell. "Thanks, Q. I may use your chakra in the match, but I doubt it. However, I will not pull any punches in the invasion. I have deactivated all restrictive seals. All that's left is to kick some ass. Gotta go." He ended abruptly as the match started. Naruto was forced to dodge sand spikes that were appearing all over the ground. "Okay, first we have to neutralize his sand and bypass his defenses." Naruto flashed 3 seals and called out, "Raitun, thunderclap." He charged both of his hands with lightning chakra and clapped his hands together. A thick bolt of lightning lanced toward the Jinchuriki and penetrated the sand wall Gaara had put up. The lightning bolt made contact with Gaara's secondary defense and penetrated it, throwing Gaara backwards. Gaara flew and tumbled for nearly 20 feet. The audience gasped as he struggled to get back up. Naruto dashed over to him in a blonde blur and smashed his fist into the scorch mark on Gaara's chest. Thanks to Naruto's version of Tsunade's super strength technique, Gaara went sailing into the wall of the stands with a loud crash. The spider web cracks were nearly 30 feet in diameter, centered around a redhead that was rapidly losing his shit. Naruto didn't want to get the fans involved, so he used Shunshin to get near Gaara and drag him out of the wall before he could begin transforming. Naruto felt the rise of Biju chakra and knew he had to make his move. He grabbed Gaara's arm and chucked him back into the center of the arena before the sand could surround his arm. Gaara landed in a heap and sand was rushing all around him. Naruto created 8 shadow cloned captains that sprang into a hexagonal position around Gaara. They each flashed through a sequence of hand seals and called out, Uzumaki Fuin, Raiton, electric barrier. A blue dome of electric chakra surrounded the now formed ball of sand. Kurama warned Naruto that this was how Gaara transitioned to his Biju state. When Orochimaru saw the barrier go up around the Jinchuriki, he panicked. He gave his signal to begin the invasion. His 2 guards split into 4 and threw smoke bombs at the Kage's feet. This was the backup signal for the invasion, since Kabuto had been captured. Orochimaru attempted to grab Hiruzen by the throat, but the Kage countered Orochimaru's lunge and threw him into the stadium. Orochimaru was going to crash into the electric barrier before he used Kawarimi to substitute with an unlucky subordinate. Said subordinate crashed into the barrier and was treated to a shock like a bug tempted into a bug zapper, sorry Shino. Orochimaru was now in the base of the arena, surrounded by Jiraiya, Tsunade, Hiruzen and 8 Naruto clones. He didn't have time to escape before the clones called our Uzumaki Fuin, Raiton, electric barrier. This barrier encased the whole arena, with Naruto's clones positioned inside the barrier. The barrier containing Gaara had shrunk and begun electrocuting the crazy redhead. The original Naruto was preparing a sealing circle. Orochimaru attempted to get to the down Jinchuriki but was kicked backward by Jiraiya into the corner of the arena. Shit, fuck, what the fuck happened? Thought Orochimaru. He briefly looked to see his Sound 4 engaging with ANBU squads. Jonin ninja around the stadium were dealing with enemy ninja while the chunin were leading genin in escorting the dignitaries and civilians. He was in trouble. Without killing the blonde, he wouldn't be able to get out of this barrier. He could try killing the clones, but he still has to get through his old team. He was panicking. He needed to create some space and summon his trump card. Meanwhile, Naruto felt Gaara go unconscious from the pain and the subsequent massive spike of Shikaku's chakra. He finished applying the Biju suppressing seal to the lightning barrier that was containing Shikaku. Naruto could see Tamari and Kankuro looking at him through the barrier with pleading eyes. They then were forced to turn around and fight Katsuchi and Samui. Naruto returned to the task at hand and called on Q's chakra to forcibly restrain Shikaku's chakra. Kit, something isn't right with my brother. There is another presence. It is the soul of some old priest that forced its way into the seal. Thinking quickly, Naruto said, Okay, Q. That seal should give us a couple minutes. The barrier is consistently weakening Shikaku. For now, we need him out of the picture. I will work on a solution for the priest problem later. We cannot reinforce his seal with that priest in there. I think that is what's driving your brother up the wall. Gotcha, Kit, the hard way it is. Kurama pumped as much of his chakra into Naruto as the boy could tolerate. He made sure to keep topping off his reserves. The kid would have one hell of a chakra hangover, but that is a tomorrow problem. Naruto felt the decrease in Shikaku's presence and let down the barrier. He placed a freshly written chakra suppression seal on the back of Gaara's neck. The sand offered no resistance anymore and the seal phased into Gaara's skin. The seal was written in an ink that contained his blood that was infused with Kurama's chakra. It is quite possibly the most powerful Fuinjutsu medium in the world at this time. With the seal applied, Naruto channeled Q's chakra into the seal. Shikaku and Gaara's chakra could no longer be felt. In a flash of yellow, Naruto took Gaara to his father's training room. He left a clone to draw some more suppression seals on the unconscious Jinchuriki and flashed back into the stadium to the marker on Kuratsuchi's necklace. He arrived to see a one-sided battle. Kuro had melted Kankuro's puppet completely and was in the middle of a beatdown. Samui continued her fight from earlier and found much less resistance. Without her big fan, Tamari's wind jutsu were far less potent. Naruto appeared behind Tamari and applied a paralysis tag to her back. As she locked up, he did the same to Kankuro, who didn't even see him move. Kuro-chan and Samui-chan, these guys are political prisoners. They are the old Kazekage's children. He is most likely dead, but I want you to take them to the Raikage and Tsuchikage. Hand them off and return to your teams. The Raikage and Tsuchikage are holding the arena down. They should be able to secure them. Naruto said in a hurried but serious voice. Before they could even say, "Be safe, Naruto-kun," he had disappeared. They both whispered it anyway before moving to comply with his orders. Naruto appeared on the top of the arena and took in the situation. The arena was mostly under control, but there was still Orochimaru to deal with. There was a massive three-headed snake wreaking havoc in the front of the village. Two other massive snakes were approaching the village from behind it. "You ready to go, Kurama?" Naruto pulled on Kurama's chakra and entered his three-tailed cloak. He then used that chakra in a summoning jutsu. Kurama appeared at the edge of the arena, along with 20 foxes that were the size of lions. Kurama let out a roar and two seven-tailed foxes, about a third of his size, appeared beside him. He gave them orders to purge the village of any ninja with a sound or sand headband. Then he and the two seven-tailed foxes made their way to the front of the village, being careful not to destroy too much on their way or step on any puny humans. Upon hearing Kurama's roar, the whole village froze in fear. Then, ninja around Konoha bore witness to two more massive fox summons and a horde of battle foxes. The chaos that followed was purely one-sided. Konoha suffered its losses, but the foxes changed the tide of the battle entirely. The order went out to focus on the snakes and Oto ninja. The foxes were called friendlies. Inoichi made this order clear through telepathic communication with the Jonin squad leader. Kurama was so happy to be summoned out of his container. The looks on the meatsacks' faces were hilarious. He was careful not to cause too much damage, but as he got to the snake summon, he lashed out with three tails. The gust of wind that followed the collision of his tails with the massive snake flattened the forest for 200 meters beyond Konoha's walls. The horde of sand shinobi that were following the snake summons into the village were forced to attempt to take cover. Most of the 200-strong forces were okay, but the massive snake summons smashed 20 or so sand shinobi into bloody smears. The massive snake was launched into the recently flattened forest. The fox could be heard laughing as his sharp claws severed the center snake's head. The rest of the summon fight was a bloodbath. Kurama's teeth sunk into the throat of the left head. With a deep, guttural and rumbling growl, Kurama's teeth clicked together in a massive spray of blood. The final head was wrapped in Kurama's tail and the snake's head rolled over the edge of the tail in the final massive spray of blood. The headless body writhed for a while after and produced tremors, but it was short-lived. Kurama loved this kit, but nothing beat his fox form being covered in blood. The sand shinobi fled from Kurama and reassembled in the woods where they called a hasty retreat. The two seven-tailed fox summons finished their own fights. The snake summons were left in bloody messes, unable to retreat to their summon realm. The two massive kitsune then folded down on their massive front legs and bowed their heads to Kurama. "It is good to fight alongside you again, Kurama-dano. Pardon my rudeness, but where have you been?" "Ah, Khaleesi, it is good to see you again. It is a long story. I will bring our new summoner to the woods soon and explain the situation. For right now, know that there are complicating factors. Your assistance is no longer required, as we would do more damage than good. The other fox spoke. Karamadano, we thought we lost you to the Shinigami. I am relieved to see you again. We will await you in the woods. Thank you, Fenric. Tell the clan I look forward to seeing them. Kurama's short reply was enough for Fenric, who was his right-hand fox back in the day. All three massive fox summons disappeared in poofs of smoke, leaving a massive heap of snake and blood in their wake. Chuza, in his giant form, saw all of this take place. His chin was hanging open and a massive glob of saliva crashed down next to an equally stunned Shikaku. The splash of his friend's saliva brought him out of his trance with a resounding call of troublesome. The genin squads were responsible for evacuating the civilians and protecting the bunkers and hospital. Teams 7 and 8 evacuated the academy students through the tunnels under the academy. Teams 9 and 10 joined a protective perimeter around the hospital. They each had to deal with 2 squads of Odo shinobi. Luckily, they all came out alive. Sasuke suffered from a kunai lodged in his left shoulder blade. He was missing the constant feeling of confidence that Naruto always provided Team 7. Back in the stadium, Naruto saw that most enemy ninja were being dealt with. He looked into the barrier and saw Orochimaru being put to the test by 3 people he loved the most in this world. Anko appeared behind him and wrapped her arms around him. He leaned back into her embrace, noticing the strong smell of blood that was covering her. I missed you, Ruto-kun. You know you scared everyone shitless with that stunt you pulled. Naruto chuckled. I sure did, Hibiheim. Kurama is doing his thing and I trust him. All that's left for me is to deal with this snake. I am going to reinforce the barrier to make sure he can't get away. Then I am going to help Jiji, Bakon and Kyofu. Take me with you. Anko demanded with a firm look on her face. Naruto sighed. He was reluctant to let the snake near his Hibiheim. Anko shook his shoulders. Ruto, I am serious. No sex for a month if you do this without me. Fine, fine. He said in a reluctant tone that abetted when she planted a passionate, blood-covered kiss on his lips. Naruto wiped off the foreign blood and summoned 8 more clones to take up positions around the barrier. They all put their hands on the barrier and channeled chakra. Naruto felt Kurama dispel and re-enter his mind. Have a good fight, Kurama. Naruto could practically feel Kurama's smirk. Sure thing, Kit. The foxes are getting restless. We will need to go visit them soon. Gotcha, Q. We need to wrap this up first. I don't like the feeling of the chakra coming from inside the barrier. How much more of your chakra can I take today? I don't know, Kit. That summoning stunt put a strain on your coils. Give me a minute and maybe you can take a tail. Don't push it though. Naruto nodded internally to Kurama before turning to Anko and holding out his hand. Don't make me regret this, Anko-chan. His voice had a bit of pleading in it. She took his hand with a smile and the couple disappeared in a yellow flash. Naruto appeared inside the barrier and saw 2 coffins. The third coffin had been smashed by Tsunade. The coffins had 1st, 2nd and 4th on their fronts. Naruto knew this was nothing good. At least Jiraiya, Tsunade and Hiruzen look okay. The signs of their fight littered the area. Naruto saw the coffins drop their lids and immediately reach into his pouch. As the coffin's lids hit the ground, Naruto appeared in front of the coffins and applied chakra suppression seals to the 2 bodies and activated them. He received a powerful kick in his chest that shattered his 3rd and 4th rib on his right side. Before Orochimaru could remove the tags, Hiruzen performed a combination jutsu with Jiraiya. Jiraiya was spitting a geyser of toad oil at the snake and his two coffins. Hiruzen lit it up with a flame head shaped like a dragon. The ensuing explosion was massive, and the heat was contained inside the barrier. Orochimaru hissed in frustration. That is when he noticed Anko and Tsunade attacking from his flanks. Anko managed to wrap him up in snakes long enough for Tsunade to land a world-shattering punch to Orochimaru's chest. His body went flying into the barrier, where a significant electric shock sent him flying back to the ground with his whole body smoking. On the ground, Orochimaru began to emerge from the mouth of his old body. The group was no longer stunned by the grotesque display. It was his third time using it already. A group of 20 shadow clones appeared, 10 of them called out, Katan, Dragon Flame Bullet, while another 10 used Futon, Great Breakthrough. The original Naruto channeled chakra to shape the collaboration jutsu and said, Collaboration Jutsu, Kitsune Firestorm. The raging inferno encircled the newly emerged Orochimaru. The group could hear his screams of pain and frustration inside the firestorm. When Naruto released the jutsu, nobody was ready for a big white snake with the head of Orochimaru to spring forth from the flames. The snake latched itself around Anko and tried to swallow her. Naruto panicked and forced a kawarimi with Anko. He felt the snake trying to take possession of his body. Kurama's chakra flared to life around Naruto in a one-tailed cloak and the snake slithered away from Naruto, badly burnt by the corrosive chakra. The snake then caught Hiruzen's crushing blow with Enma, the Monkey King, in his adamantine staff form. Anko jumped to her old master's writhing snake form and began stabbing it repeatedly with dual kunai, coating her entire body in the snake's blood. The crumpled heap of snakes lay there, motionless, bloody and ripped apart. The group encircled the snakes and Anko threw one of her kunai to nail the one, tiny, white snake that was fleeing. It was the last remnant of chakra Orochimaru possessed. Once Naruto had recovered from his near-possession experience and thanked Kurama, he sealed the snakes up into several different scrolls. He then incinerated the scrolls with a fire jutsu. Hiruzen breathed out a heavy sigh. That chapter is finally over. Thank Kami. Jiraiya walked over and put his massive hand on Hiruzen's shoulder. Tsunade leaned into Hiruzen and wrapped him in a loose hug. It's finally over, Sensei. They both said in a soft and comforting tone. Anko had wrapped Naruto in a hug and was crying. Naruto was rubbing the back of her head in a comforting motion. Anko was going through a state of shock. The Orochimaru chapter of her life had been hanging over her for 9 long years. She could finally start anew, with this wonderful man that was holding her in his arms. Naruto stood there comforting Anko for nearly 5 minutes as the old team Hiruzen got the closure they needed as well. Finally, Naruto dropped the barrier so they could begin to take stock of the situation. Naruto had nearly burnt out his chakra coils. Kurama and Tsunade warned him not to use chakra for the next couple of days and Anko volunteered to take him to the Namake's compound while Jiraiya, Tsunade, and the Hokage dealt with the aftermath and cleanup. Anko carried a worn-out Naruto through Konoha to the Namake's compound. Most of the village was in decent shape, with small battle scars littered throughout. This was because they were heading toward the rear of the village where the damage wasn't nearly as prevalent. Pires of smoke could be seen billowing in scattered battle sites throughout the village. The couple gained their fair share of hoots, hollers and catcalls. They were glad to see spirits were still high, despite the attempted invasion. Anko finally got to the Namake's compound and carried Naruto to his bathroom. The two stripped after Anko drew up a warm bath. Naruto got into the tub first with Anko sitting in front of him. She lay back onto his chest as he wrapped his arms around her front. The two fell asleep in each other's arms in the bathtub. Later that night, Jiraiya came home looking for Naruto. He wanted to check on the kid. He had never seen Naruto that burnt out before. He didn't find Naruto in his room or his father's study. He was walking past the bathroom when he heard the slight sloshing of water. Jiraiya decided to check it out and opened the door. He thought he walked in on a horror scene. The bathroom looked like a double homicide had taken place. There were bloody hand marks on the wall, bloody clothes with small blood pools coming from them, and the tub was filled with blood-red water. He would have panicked if he didn't see the two sleeping peacefully in the tub. Jiraiya went and fetched Tsunade so she could see the horrifically cute sight. Thank you for watching. I hope you enjoyed it. Make sure to like and subscribe, and don't forget to share this video with your friends. Guys, make sure to help the author by visiting the link in the description. This is Fox Sage, and I'm signing off.